Christian.
If you played Warzone this past weekend, chances are you were killed by the newest broken gun, the Cyclops pistol. Warzone has a long history of broken guns that are way too overpowered, like the Bruin, DMR, AUG, and FFAR, just to name a few. These weapons eventually did get their stats lowered, but sometimes it took way too long. The Cyclops was first discovered back in February, when a small group of players were able to use it in plunder matches. They realized the weapon was overpowered, but they figured the gun would be balanced before being released to the general public. Well, now that the gun is out without any balancing, it has completely taken over the game. If you want to spend your time unlocking it, I'd wait. Chances are, by the time you get all the attachments you need, Call of Duty will have lowered the stats.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it. You know what I mean?
The Onside Zone.
He's a liar. And there's nothing new about that. He's full of crap. If you're believing that, I got a bridge in the Keys. It's the one on the right side. Just want you to know, when you're going south, you'll see the smaller bridge on the right. I've got that one for sale if you're interested.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
That's the one boy band that I will say, dude, I'll stand up for Boys to Men every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Love those guys.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right.
Bam, facing up. Gonna run it down. He goes with it. Adebayo for the win. Oh, County! Dade County! How do you like Bam, man? What a shot!
Oh, yes! Welcome aboard. A beautiful shot by Bam as Miami defeats the Nets 109-107. The world is just fine, isn't it? Do you really actually convince yourself of that? You know, I love what's happened and developed with the Miami Heat organization, because we all know that the Heat organization is by far, by miles, by light years ahead of every organization in town, okay? It's not even up for discussion. It's not up for any argument, nothing whatsoever. The Heat are way ahead of every other franchise in this town, okay? By winning, by culture, by trust, all of those things. And to the Heat's credit, man, and what Pat Riley has done in 25 years, he's made this a Heat town. He's made you and me care about basketball year-round. That's why when I wanted to bring Ira over, you know, I know where he was at, they would just use him seasonally. I told them, Ira, there's no seasonal anymore. You're year-round. If you're doing it here on Onside, you're going to have segments year-round because we can talk basketball year-round. We can go with it. And that's thanks to Pat Riley. Pat Riley makes us care about the Summer League. Pat Riley makes us care about the draft. Pat Riley makes us care about whales. Pat Riley makes us care about developmental players. Pat Riley has made us care about basketball even when the Heat aren't in the playoffs. We're one of the top cities or top areas in the country watching playoff basketball. Okay? That's how much of a basketball town we have become. Now, the ultimate level of it is that Pat Riley has been able to develop some of you into basketball zombies. It is freaking awesome, dude. Because you know how I have fun with a saying that's called the blind ass fan alert, right? We love that, right? The fan that really doesn't see things for what they are, but they're so fanatical about it.
Blind ass fan alert.
And that's exactly what's going on with the Miami Heat. Because last night after Bam hits that shot, everybody's feeling great and this and that and saying, oh, and Bam has found his groove and Bam hit a big shot and Bam is going to take over and Bam this and Bam that. And they beat the Nets. And then, let's not let out that, Durant left with a minor injury. Harden was out. And yes, I know Oladipo's not playing and Butler was not in the game. And I get all of that. But it's funny how that game last night meant zero, zilch, nothing. Yet, some Heat fans took this Nets win like it was this incredible accomplishment, when it's just another Jag game in April in an NBA season. That's all it is. And here's the key factor here. You lost to Minnesota on Friday. Last night's win doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything whatsoever. Because if you're losing to Minnesota, who cares that you beat a Nets team that wasn't 100%? And there was nothing on the line. And having said all that, you needed a last-second shot to beat them. And we all know, if they have Depot and Butler, and they have Durant and Harden, we know what's going to happen. Nets are going to win. It's not even close. Miami can't defend those three guys. So you lose to Minnesota. That's why the game last night meant nothing whatsoever at all. It's just Rex Chapman hitting 39 against the Bulls in the middle of a season. That meant nothing. That's all. It's a nice team. It really is. It'll make the playoffs. But it's not going to make an impact in the playoffs. Things aren't great. They're all right. They're an entertaining team. They'll win some games. They'll slightly win more than they lose. They'll maybe make it out of the first round. Maybe. They'll be lucky to get to the second round. This isn't an impactful team, and I get it. Some of you out there, you're zombied out because of what happened last year. And last year, clearly it was a fluke. Now, it's a screwed up fluke, right? Because they could have won the title. Because the momentum was all theirs at that moment. And if obviously Dragon and Bam don't suffer injuries, it reminds me a lot of Shaq and Wade that first year. That if Shaq and Wade don't suffer injuries, they kick Detroit's ass and they give San Antonio a run for their money and maybe even win, because Shaq was playing out of his freaking mind that year. That was the first year he came back. He lost all that weight, was super motivated. That was the year to really take advantage. He wasn't the same player the second year when they won the title. He was actually a lesser player. Zoe was the more important player in those finals, actually, not Shaq. So that's what it reminds me of last year. I get it. It was a fluke of all flukes last year, but they had such momentum and everything going on their side and the confidence level and everything else that it was a different team at that moment. Now, give me a break, dude. Tyler's lost. Nunn's inconsistent as hell. This team really can't defend the way you really need when it's all said and done, and they certainly are not going to be able to score and hang with some of these other teams. So, it's an entertaining win last night. It was a nice moment for Bam personally. But if you think the Heat turned the corner because they beat the Nets when they lost to the Timberwolves 2 nights before, what the hell is wrong with you? It meant nothing. It meant zero. Okay? I don't even know if it meant anything for Bam. How many players hit game winners? They do it all the time. That doesn't mean that they are all of a sudden going to become, guys that take over games on a consistent basis. We're all waiting for that from Bam, but I don't even know if it's going to happen still. This isn't the only moment Bam's ever had. Bam's had several other moments. Doesn't turn him into that great white shark that we're all expecting him to become every single night. So to me, that's what I found amusing, is that the Heat is such an amazing organization. Pat Riley has done such a great job of building a great organization, one that you trust. You trusted so much, you go over the deep end and you start to believe stuff that isn't even close to reality. Do you realize that the Heat are 7-10 in their last 17 games? What corner is that, bro? Please, explain to me. What effing corner have they turned at 7-10 in their last 17? What says that they're anything close to what they were last year? And they're not even going to get there, because Tyler isn't playing like that. Nunn isn't playing like he played the first 2 months of last year. And he can't, because he can't find that kind of consistency for that duration. Forget a whole season. He can't do it again for 2 months. He can't do it for a month. So this isn't the same team defensively. This isn't the same team offensively. They don't have the same kind of confidence that they had. They now have to deal with actually playing on the road, which they're not very good as it is. They're not dominant at home. Explain to me, why are you fooling yourself? I got to give Pat Riley a ton of credit, dude. He has done such an awesome job. He has made zombies of some of you out there. You are Heat zombies. You're like, no, I'm not. I know I can't see the ugly side. No, I won't pay attention. No, they lost to the Timberwolves on Friday. No, they beat the Nets last night. That's it. They're headed for the finals. Let's go. I find it funny, man. You know what I mean? I love the Heat too. I would love to be dead ass wrong and see them in the NBA Finals again. And look, I know I'm going to get the text, and I'll get the YouTube post, possibly maybe a DM or a tweet. Uh-oh, come on, man. You're being too cruel right now. You're being negative now, right? Because of course, when you say something that of course hurts somebody's feelings and they can't handle the truth, that's negative. I know, because I dealt with it for like 20 years with Dolph fans. You always have those ultra sensitive Dolph fans that can never look. They somehow try to make Dave Wanstead into Vince Lombardi. Okay. They try to make Joe Philbin into Tom Landry, right? It's just somehow or another. You tell them how bad things are, and no. You're not giving them a chance. I'm telling you, Tony Sperano will be the next Sid Gilman. Some of you have no idea even who Sid Gilman is. Let me go with McVay or McVee. Is it McVay or McVee, the Rams guy?
No.
Sean McVay, right? It's McVay, right?
Come on.
All right. I'm just saying. Oh, Sealer, Siler. I have no idea. Anyway, so, whatever. It's just you guys are like this, and it's freaking hilarious, dude. The Heat zombies. Everything's fine. We beat the Nets, but stunk it out against the Wolves. I mean, come on, man. How anybody looks at that game last night and tries to read anything into it other than game, what was it last night? That's what it was. I don't even know the number of the game. That's what I would call last night. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what it was last night. It wasn't special. It was game whatever,
57.
Game 57 of the NBA season in April. That's all it was. It wasn't a watershed moment for Bam. It wasn't a watershed moment for the team. It wasn't any kind of great accomplishment by Spo or this clan. They're 7-10 in their last 17, and they just lost to the Timberwolves on Friday. Please, enough already. Come to reality. Let's step into reality. The problem is you drink the Kool-Aid of 31-10, and then You expect the journeyman to do it again, and no, that was a moment in time that they had. Yes, they beat the Warriors and they beat really good teams during that stretch, and you tried to justify it and you tried to go zombie, and so did the Heat, by the way. Even Pat Riley became a zombie on his own stuff. Okay? And they went off the deep end. It was Dawn of the Dead for 4 years. And it's the same thing. And I've noticed it all throughout the year. In all these, individual games that happen every once in a while, and there's this, win or something, all of a sudden you think, oh, the Heat have turned the corner. They found the magic from last year. No, man. No, they're not going to find the magic that the journeyman found at 31-10, because this team can't do that. They're not going to find the magic that they had last year in the bubble, because this team can't do that. That was just a moment in time, and you got to stop with it. And it's frustrating. It's super frustrating because they had a shot last year. Having said all that, the screwed up part is it was like the 2003 Marlins. They fire their manager. They hire a senile manager that doesn't know half their players' names. Okay? I mean, there's a scene where there's a story where McKeon goes to the mound and relieves one of the pitchers and says, "Great job, Bumpy." And it wasn't Nate Bump. It was another guy. But he was calling him Nate Bump. You had a manager that got lucky, was right there. It wasn't because he was anything great. We make it out to be great. But it took Eric Gregg's strike zone that was bigger than his ass. It took Jose Cruz screwing up in the outfield. It took Bartman doing the Bartman move. I mean, every break in the book that year happened. Plus, they were super hot. They were all young guys that had career years up until that point. You know how hard that is to do in baseball? But everything fell into place, man. And they had the best record from May all the way on. And then in the playoffs, the Dontrelle Willis train all year long. And while he was fantastic during the regular season, he wasn't really a major factor as a starter in the postseason. I mean, it's just all these weird things that happened to this team all throughout, but everything fell into place. Every break went their way. You know what I mean? And it's just a moment in time that you have, and you got to take advantage of it, because sometimes you're the Denver Broncos and your quarterback can't throw for 10 yards. But somehow or another, everything falls into place enough for you to win the Super Bowl. And I get it, man. If the Heat stayed healthy last year, they had a moment in time that they could have even surprised the Lakers, because they took them to 6, injured and all. So I get those frustrations, but you got to stop thinking that you can relive what happened in the bubble last year. This team is nowhere near that team in the bubble. It doesn't have the confidence. It doesn't have the swag. It doesn't have the consistency. It doesn't have the defense. It doesn't have the bubble. It doesn't have the same scenarios. And it doesn't even have the same players. Let it go. The reality is, what happened yesterday meant absolutely nothing, because when you lose to the Timberwolves 2 nights before, you are what you are, an inconsistent team that cannot be counted on. It's a nice team because there's 16 that make the playoffs. So a lot of teams make the playoffs in the NBA. They'll be one of the top 8. That's where it ends. Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Hey, Miami Dolphin fans, don't forget to join us for OnsideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in Bird Road. You can join me and Alex Dono for this 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30, and Friday, day 2 starts at 6:30. Drinks and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a 2-night event as OnsideRadio.com and Sports Grill in Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is. to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits
with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Miami Dolphins fans, join the only real sports station in South Florida dedicated to what you want. The best NFL draft coverage on the planet. Join OnsideRadio.com for their NFL draft party and sports grill in Miami at 11481 Southwest 40th Street on Bird Road. This two-night event, April 29th and 30th, is hosted by Big O and Alex Dano, giving Dolphins fans what they crave: real draft coverage. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
Inter Miami took a loss in their first game of the season at Drive Pink Stadium. LA Galaxy with a great comeback to win overall 3-2 after Sacha Kljestan with his left foot beat John McCarthy at his near post. Chicharito ended the game with a brace. Also, Gonzalo Higuain got on the score sheet with a penalty and also assisted second-year player Robbie Robinson for his first MLS goal. The team looked promising. It wasn't an overall terrible performance, but you just have to be careful with those silly mistakes, just like last year.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio.
Omar Kelly set to join us at the bottom of the hour. Don't forget, Inter Miami fans, you can join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. You can join me and Alex Dano for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows. We'll be out there, man. While we watch the games, you can enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site. Their beer is awesome. I plan on having one at the end of the broadcast, and we're going to have a toast because they're going to beat Philadelphia on Saturday. I'm telling you. And their artisanal pizzas, by the way, I had one of those last week, and they are awesome. The bread is so good, man. Anyway, they've got live music, giveaways there. It's the new home for Inter Miami road games, so we're there for every road game, Dono and myself, and, of course, Sean. He'll be there drinking a ton of beer. Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Center Mall, and they feature all of the Inter Miami games, so follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B, and on Facebook, Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing. Visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com. What do we got here on the tubers? NorCal is in. NorCal says it's 4:19. Got a minute. Puff, puff, give. Robert Triana is in the house. Tony Zagalis is in. Crypto Bro, he says. Damn right. Has a nice dip over the weekend. Hope you bought. Hope you
Crypto,
bought.
bro.
Some of you panicked.
Crypto, bro.
So funny watching the people panic. What up, Big O? Samuel says, honestly, rather watch the Marlins or Panthers than the Heat right now. Well, they are playing better. They're better teams, actually, right now. Well, I don't know about Marlins. They're playing better. They're so young. It's hard to think that they're going to keep this up, but it's a lot of fun to watch this young team, man. Gus 1388 is in. Joe Romano is in. Big O, we're just being fans. Let us have this one. You can have it, bro. I'm just not the guy to, play the silly game of, let me kid myself about my own team. I don't do that, bro. I love it and all that, but, it just, I got to be honest. I just find it hilarious how, you think like a Nets win means something when you look like dog crap against Minnesota 2 nights ago. Like, what, you fix your problems? It's just silly. I just find it silly sometimes that fans aren't really honest with themselves about their. Hey, listen, I watched a lot of Dolphins just lie to themselves for 20 years. Big O, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the Super League for soccer. As someone who doesn't watch the sport much, it sounds pretty exciting. We'll talk about it. Now, it's exciting, and then on the flip side, it's not traditional. So that's where you're going to run into the disagreements. Like Kai is not a big fan of it, obviously. Brett says, on a separate note, baseball better take notice because it's another reason why soccer will continue to grow. Oh, soccer's already in the process of passing baseball up. Okay, soccer is going to explode, man. It's just going to continue to grow in this country. I get the people that hate the sport or you don't want to like it or whatever and you want to avoid it, go ahead. But I always remind people the MLS is already at a point where they average more per game than hockey and basketball does. Young people love soccer, man.
As much as we didn't like the result on Sunday, talk about a great soccer game to show people who are not interested in the sport what they're missing out on.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the buzz in this building was freaking amazing, dude. Willie Molina's in, says, Big O, what's up? Man of 1,005 holds. Bromar says, the Heat are mediocre. My sports watching priority on Sunday was Inter and the Marlins, and I'm not even a soccer fan. Wow. That's strong there. Play Action 7 is in. Lisa is in the house. Good afternoon. There's a lot of blind-ass fans right now. They'll be coming out in droves even more as we get closer to the draft. LOL. Let's see. Willie says Dave once that sucked at managing certain situations. What else do we have here in the house? Dennis Akers, good afternoon, Big O, my Finns fam. Everyone hit that like button. Yes, please. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. We need you to hit that like button because that gets the algorithms going. That's, sends it out to other folks. So it's very important you hit that like button. Raging Dolphin Maniac says, hello, everybody. Just a few days till the draft and counting down. GP Trap Hewitt is in. To Extreme. Many of you out there, thank you all for tuning in and supporting the show as you always do. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. We're going to talk to Omar Kelly on the other side. We're going to get into a little NFL draft, a little Dolphins draft. I saw that Alex Smith, by the way, retired. And, just a short thing on Alex Smith. I think all of us as human beings have to admire Alex Smith. I know that I don't have the balls to come back from his gruesome injury and then step on a football field again and knowing the risks that come with it after I went through that surgery, after I went through the rehab, after I put myself through hell and I put my family through hell. So I admire Alex Smith's toughness. I think and he's had a hell of a career as a quarterback. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a franchise quarterback or anything like that. But he was a solid, game manager, and he could be extremely proud of what he accomplished because most of us would never get as far as he has, okay? He's not ever going to be considered Joe Montana or Tom Brady or Russell Wilson, and I get that. But I will say this. He has set an incredible example for all of us as human beings, as professionals, as family men, as teammates. I think that that's the one thing that he can walk away that he has represented himself in an absolutely perfect fashion. I think he represented himself as a teammate in an absolutely perfect fashion. I think we're talking about a man that should be proud of who he is and what he stands for, okay? We can argue and discuss the football merits and how good he was or he wasn't, or Hall of Fame or not, or any of that other silliness and all of that. But what matters in life, you know, your character, your name, your word, your leadership, your mental toughness in that sport to be able to, you know, set examples for others. Alex Smith is a Hall of Famer in that sense. There's no Hall of Fame for that, but you can tell that as a human being and as a man, there's a ton to admire about Alex Smith, and that's what I will admire for the rest of my life. He will always be a guy that I look at and admire for what he went through and the toughness and everything that he showed to get through it and get back on that field and play a football season. So I wish him the best in his retirement. He deserves nothing but great things to happen to him, and I hope that he becomes an influence for others, because we're talking about a pro's pro. No doubt about it. All right, let's get to Omar Kelly from the South Florida Sun Sentinel and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report next.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
And this happens at a lot of food polls, right? When I put out a food discussion and I claim that one thing is better than the other, the people who are the fans of the thing that I don't like as much will always say, oh, you've never had my abuelita's tres leches. Well, no crap. I don't know your grandma. She's never invited me. I hate that argument. It's like, oh, wait, you think tiramisu is better? You've never had my abuelita's homemade tres leches. Well, until she invites me over, bro, how am I supposed to try? You've clearly never been to Florence where they have great tiramisu, so don't give me your crap. You've never had my nonna's tiramisu.
Yeah, I haven't.
And you'll never have it. She's dead.
Oh, God.
You'll never have it.
I really wanted to.
You're SOL. She didn't save the recipe. It died with her.
Oh, no.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano on South Florida's home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here, I'm the man.
Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com. Onside Radio continues to grow. To make your life easier, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the MyTuner Radio app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter Miami CF match. Go to your app store, download MyTuner Radio, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Inter Miami loses its opening match to the LA Galaxy 3-2. Robbie Robinson got his first goal of the season following an assist by Higuain. Higuain also put one in the net off of a penalty kick goal, but LAFC storms back with 3 goals in the second half to get the win. Their next match is Saturday versus the Philadelphia Union. Bam Adebayo got the Heat the win at the buzzer on Sunday. Heat beat the Nets 109-107. The Heat play again tonight. They take on Kelly Olynyk and the Houston Rockets in the Olynyk revenge game. Tip-off is slated for 8 p.m. Heat going as -8 favorites, according to Vegas. And Marlins take 2 out of 3 from the San Francisco Giants. They welcome Baltimore for 2 games starting Tuesday. First pitch is set for tomorrow night at 6:40 p.m. And in soccer news, Jose Mourinho has been socked by Tottenham. With your Onside Sports update, I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more from the Onside Zone with the Big O right here, OnsideRadio.com.
Brace yourself. You might not hear what you want. You can always expect Omar to keep it real, whether you like it or not. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sun Sentinel writer Omar Kelly. EJD is your one-stop shop, custom home builder, and general contractor for residential construction. Call them 305-433-4843. Find them on Facebook at EJD Construction. Here's Omar Kelly with your Miami Dolphins report segment.
All right, we're back. It is time now for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. You just heard it there. Omar Kelly joins us every week for it, all throughout the week, all throughout the station. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. More importantly, if you're looking to redo anything in your home, please call Eric. He will take care of you at EJDconstruction.com. Go to the website, and you'll get some great work done by some amazing people. Omar, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing good, Big O. I'm getting bunkered down for Wednesday's press conference with Chris Greer, trying to figure out exactly what question I can ask him that can get revealing answers.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, those press conferences where they say absolutely zero. Yes.
No. I've always disagreed with people who say they say absolutely zero. There are probably 2 to 3 messages that they want to get out to the league, and you just have to be able to interpret what that is and then figure out what their intent is for what the message is.
Well, we'll see. I normally you really get no substance, but we'll see if actually on Wednesday they give us some kind of substance in all of this. Today, Alex Smith announced his retirement. And look, the question about Hall of Fame or all that crap, we're not talking any of that stuff. But,
oh my God, no.
But
Julian Edelman too. I was really
that was
bothered.
ridiculous. It's Troy Brown, it's Julian Edelman, it's Wes Welker, all phenomenal players. None of them Hall of Famers. It's fine. They have 3.
Welker's a Hall of Famer.
I don't even consider him a Hall of Famer. If Torrey Holt's not in yet, Wes Welker is not Torrey Holt.
I didn't say he's first ballot or second ballot or fourth ballot, but Wes Welker. I mean, who revolutionized the slot position more than Wes Welker?
I mean, the slot position's been used by plenty of people over the years. Now that they abused it because they had a bunch of midgets on the field. Yeah, that's kind of what they had to do.
They took it to the next level. Before them, the slot wasn't a significant contributor or major role player. And I
think Bobby Ingram made himself a nice slot player. Charlie Joyner made himself a nice slot player years ago. Duriel Harris was a nice slot player for Miami. Nat Moore also, when they had the Marks brothers, he would go inside, became a nice slot player. But again, they abused it because it was kind of what their offense was. In a way, it's like watching the West Coast offense come alive in the Cincinnati Bengals. And it was only because Paul Brown couldn't run the ball. So then all of a sudden he developed a short passing game, and that became the West Coast offense. So they wanted short passes to offset the run. And then Bill Walsh was the offensive coordinator under Paul Brown, and then he went to San Francisco, and everybody thinks that it came out of San Francisco. But no, it came out of Paul Brown in Cincinnati, and then he took it over to San Francisco and then glorified it, where he used Roger Craig in the short passing game. I think Sid Gilman also did a lot of that back in the 60s in the AFL, using slot players too. It's just, I think New England, by choice, their offense kind of had to use that because that's what they were. They were either Welker or the tight end, basically, because they didn't really have outside guys that were constantly, going downfield. That wasn't their offense.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that because I certainly didn't know about Paul Brown and the influence. But yeah, I mean,
the West Coast offense was born in the Bengals, bro. That's where the West Coast offense. Bob Trumpy was the tight end. Bill Walsh was the offensive coordinator. Sam Weish was the quarterback. Paul Brown was the head coach, and they couldn't run the ball. And so notice those names are all there. And then they expand. Obviously, Sam Weish came back to Cincinnati and became a very well-known coach for Cincinnati, but he was actually a player under Paul Brown with Bill Walsh and company when they developed the West Coast offense there. That's it.
Look at that history lesson right there.
There you go, baby. There you go. So to me, but getting back to the point, Alex Smith is a Hall of Famer as a human being, as a character guy, as a leader, as a teammate. That's where I'm going to admire that guy. I'm going to admire him, how he handled his career. I know he's not a Hall of Famer as a player. I know he's never going to be considered a great quarterback. Hell, I don't even consider him a great franchise quarterback or anything like that. But everything else, I got to say, dude, that guy handled the adversity of being drafted really high and not living up to it, and then finding his way to Andy Reid and kind of revitalizing his career, and then the injury, and then to come back on the field. And because I don't have the balls to suffer that injury, rehab, and then be crazy enough to take the field again and put myself at risk. As a man, that's where I'm going to admire him. He's a Hall of Fame human being, is my point. I wish him the best.
He's probably made about $150 million during his career.
Yeah, remember when he got into the league, it was those fat contracts.
That was before,
yeah. But I admire him personally as a human being. Don't you, at least, in that sense?
Cool, sure. I don't know him. I've never met him, so
seriously, the way he's handled everything, you don't admire that, at least, that he's been able to fight through all of that. When you're a bust at the top of the draft, you kind of like
he wasn't a bust. He wasn't a bust. He was
a bust at the beginning. He was a bust at the beginning in San Fran. He was, doggy. He was at the beginning. He didn't live up to he was the number 2 pick of the draft, I think it was. He didn't live up to it.
No, he was number 1 pick. Of the draft.
Well, that even helps me more.
I'm saying. I don't. Here's my thing. I don't really the Deshaun Watson situation has really taught me not to pretend like I know these guys or know what their image is, especially the quarterbacks. You know what people want to portray them as, or what they want the nation to think of them as. Because you would think Deshaun Watson was this choir boy who went to church on Sunday.
Yeah, and, you're right.
Lo and behold, he's a rubbing tug specialist. It's really taught me. One, I try not to judge athletes until I get to know them and meet them and interact with them. That's when you know whether or not they're decent human beings, because, you should at least treat me like a decent human being. But then, you know, you learn a lot about these athletes, and history shows you exactly who they are. And unfortunately, you know, you just never know. I don't know Alex Smith. I've never covered Alex Smith. I respect him as a quarterback. I always said he was the baseline for what Ryan Tannehill could be, and I still say that.
Yeah. I just admire that he's been able to fight through all that adversity throughout his career. So
Bro, he's got 100. He's got 160. That's why when you said
that don't mean anything, dude. Jamarcus Russell made a ton of money, and he just was a lazy fat ass. Okay, he looked like Ben Askren or whatever, the guy that got his ass kicked by that kid over the weekend, the MMA fighter. He was just a slob. I'm just saying, I give this guy credit, dude. He stuck with it. He fought through a lot of the adversity, the negativity, and then a devastating injury, and you know, all this stuff. You kick ass in KC, you like, at least at his level, and then all of a sudden they draft a guy to replace you, and it's just, you know, he's had to overcome a lot of stuff. So I got to give him credit. It has nothing to do with money, because we've seen a lot of guys make money and show no character whatsoever. I got to give him a lot of character in fighting through his career, at least. I'm going to say that. All right, so let's get to a little Dolphins football. All right, so number 6 now. Is it starting to look like they got it right here? That it may be, they may have, you know, done the right thing, and they're going to end up with either Pitts or Chase in your eyes?
I still think there's a chance they don't end up with Pitts or Chase. I still think there's a chance that you're at 6 and you got to select either or pick Jalen Waddle or
Smith,
Devonta Smith or Penei Sewell. And I hate that people just exclude Penei Sewell, because I think he can help open up your offense. But I think they did their due diligence, and they're pretty confident that they're going to be okay at 6. There was a range that they wanted to get to, and they got right back in that range. And I'm certain that they're going to have a good choice. And really, I think the biggest debate right now, because I think everybody knows how it stacks up. It's probably going to be Pitts number 1, Jamar Chase number 2, and then the question is, who is 3? And I've talked to people inside and outside the organization who they're kind of divided on Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith.
I can see that.
I
can see that.
People say,
dude, you talk to NFL people, that you kind of get the same. I get the same thing from scouts on the Waddle Smith thing. Actually, now I gotta say, from the group of people that I've talked to, Waddle gets the slight edge over Smith.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
Waddle gets a slight edge, and I'm of the opinion right now that Waddle will be selected before Smith, and I can understand people's rationale behind it. He plays at a different speed that you're just not accustomed to. And while Devonta Smith is fast, he does not play at that speed level. And that speed level creates all kinds of challenges for defense, whereas Devonta Smith is just going to be a very good possession receiver. One that I do believe has run-after-catch skills. We saw it at Alabama. It's hard to deny it.
Yeah.
But he does not have the ability to stretch the field like Jalen Waddle does and present that threat to a safety. So if you want to change your offense, which is what the Miami Dolphins want to do, Waddle would be that pick. And right now I'm sort of leaning, even though I think that Devonta Smith is a better prospect, I'm leaning towards Waddle being the pick if their top 2 guys are gone.
All right, so you usually do your man crush stuff. Give me a second day and a third day man crush.
I did do my man crush list. It came out in the Sun Sentinel this weekend. Shice, if you do not go with a wide receiver early, and this is what people have to understand. You don't have to just race to a wide receiver right now. It's not something that you absolutely must do, cannot pass up a wide receiver in the first round. There are a lot of good quality wide receivers that are going to go in day 2 and day 3. And I like Tutu Atwell. In fact, I know his father because his father was one hell of a football player and of the same name, All-Day County from the Miami Herald. And he is, even though he's a $155 dripping wet, he's that type of weapon that you have to use to space the field, and that's what I want for the Dolphins. I want somebody who can be an immediate he occupies a safety because you got to hang with him downfield, and it's not Shaquem Grant. So that to me is, and then Shi Smith. I think they're your Shi Smith, Demetric Felton. I think you can find a lot of those gadget players, even though I do like Lynn Bowden Jr., and I think he's going to be a very good player when he gets this offense and settles into his role.
Does Bowden have that extra gear?
Yeah,
he does.
He's got that shake and bake, baby.
He does have some shake and bake, but does he have that
You're
extra?
talking about take the top off of defense?
Yeah, does he have that gear that he
No.
can pull? Okay, because it didn't look like it last year. But again, I don't think we've seen everything from the kid. I don't think he's been put in that position, or maybe they don't feel he can. But I was wondering what you knew about that.
If you really think about where they are with this receiving core, and let's just hash this out. You got Devontae Parker and Preston Williams, two identical split-end type receivers. They run tough slants, which are important for the RPO offense. They can run crisp outs. Obviously, the person needs to stay healthy and get better at his route running. Same thing with Devontae. I think the weakness of Devontae's game is his route running. But that's where coaching comes in. Then you got Lynn Bowden Jr., that gadget player. I think Simon Clancy calls it a satellite player, which I'd never heard before until recently, where it's that player that you can do everything with. They run the jet sweeps. They run the quick screens, the hitches, and they get you those yards after catch. But they've only got one of those. And actually Albert Wilson is one too, but we just haven't figured out what he is or where he's going to be. What they have is a spacer in Will Fuller, a guy who can take the top off of defense, a guy who can run, drags across the field and really get you some yards after catch with his speed. So, but they've only got one of those. So, and then they don't really have a slot receiver. They don't have except for Gesicki. Gesicki is their slot, and probably what's his name? The guy from Allen Hearns, Carroll City's finest.
Yes.
He's probably their backup slot receiver. But what they're looking for, they probably need a slot receiver, another spacer, and another gadget. If you can get all of those in one, and that's Jalen Waddle, that's what you do.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And, of course, you can catch him all week long here exclusively on OnsideRadio.com with our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Omar, as always, great stuff, great insight, my brother. Appreciate you. You have a fantastic week.
All right, talk to you later, Big O.
You got it, baby. There you go, the great Omar Kelly. Inter Miami fans, join us every road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. You can join me and Alex Dotto, enjoy the delicious food and incredible house drafts and giveaways. Inter Miami CF fans, your new home for every road game. That's this Saturday. Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Instagram, Dangerous Minds Brewing.
This has been the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. From additions to home remodeling, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDConstruction.com. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening. and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with Adhd, ACO, and Chad.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
I'm a closet fan. I'm a huge Saban fan.
I like Bama.
I always consider myself like a closet
Bama fan.
Oh,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought you were going to give me crap for saying that.
No, I got an Alabama hat at my house.
Me too.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
Listen, bro, I appreciate
greatness.
I appreciate excellence.
Yes.
4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
To serve. To treat.
To safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits.
With skilled surgeons.
Advanced medicine.
And multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals.
And new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way.
With exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
All right, we back. Final segment of hour number one. Man, hour number one already went by so quickly. We're going to take you till 3. Alex Donald will take over. I was just talking to Donald just a minute ago. Don't forget that every Monday, and it happened this Monday morning, Heat and NBA fans can catch the best hour of basketball talk when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host the Pallet Rack City Inside the Paint show. You can listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans, OnsideRadio.com. And you can podcast it. You can search for it at Inside the Paint. Remember, you hear all throughout the week and every day, you'll hear a Marlins report every day. You'll hear a Panthers report every day. You'll hear an Inter Miami report every day. You'll hear an esports report every day. All of those are podcasted. It's all under the umbrella of Onside Radio. At Onside Radio, we put the roundtable in there also. Okay, so all of that is in there. If you want to check it out. So if you want to, you missed the roundtable segment, go to Onside Radio, search it, subscribe. You missed the E segment, go to Onside Radio. You want to know what they were talking about with the Marlins, go to Onside Radio. All of that kind of stuff, so you can keep up daily with those reports. And the guys will give you, nuggets or news or things that they saw or a recap or something. It all depends, but it'll be something that's somewhat newsworthy for all of our teams. So if you want to, track all of that, go to Onside Radio or search Onside Radio on all platforms and subscribe. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff for our podcast because it's very, very important. And for those of you watching on YouTube, make sure you give us the thumbs up. It is also incredibly important. Herman says, let's trust Greer and Coach Flo. They have proven they know what they're doing. They've had one hell of a start so far. Two Extreme says, Lynn Bowden reminds me of our old receiver, Rashard Matthews. Rashard Matthews had these big hands, man. He had good hands. I remember that. I like that kid. I thought he would develop into more, and he didn't, unfortunately. But I thought there was more there, and he was one of those guys that I kind of gave him hope to develop into a much better player, and it didn't happen. Matt says, scouts fall in love with 40 speeds, that the Achilles heel of scouting. It depends. I think there are some, of course. There's no doubt, Matt. But I think a lot of people look at the film and they see what kind of a football player are you, and then they start looking at your branch of talent. What is the other skill sets that you have outside of being a really good football player? So I think it's kind of a combination. All right, 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. When we come back on the other side, I want to get into, obviously, the Inter loss. I want to get into the Panthers over the weekend, big win. I still got to talk Marlins, who are playing some outstanding baseball. The Jake Paul, Ben Askren fight. I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to get to. Plus, Michelle Kaufman will join us in hour number 2. That'll be at 1:30 right here on OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome to OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Miami Dolphins fans, join us for OnsideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami, 11481 Southwest 40th Street, Bird Road. Join Big O and Alex Dono for this 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 p.m. and Friday, day 2 at 6:30. Drink and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a 2-night event as OnsideRadio.com and Sports Grill on Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
Well, and look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it. You know what I mean?
The Onside Zone.
He's a liar. And there's nothing new about that. He's full of crap. If you're believing that, I got a bridge in the Keys. It's the one on the right side. Just want you to know, when you're going south, you'll see the smaller bridge on the right. I've got that one for sale if you're interested.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
That's the one boy band that I will say, dude, I'll stand up for Boys to Men every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Love those guys.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right.
Bam, facing up. Gonna run it down. He goes with it. Adebayo for the win. Oh, count it. Dade County. How do you like Bam, man? What a shot.
All right, we're back. A running quarterback that was injury prone. That's the funny part. Anyway, welcome back. As Tito and I are having a completely different draft conversation behind the scenes. Anyway, we take it till 3. There you go. You heard the highlights, lowlights, however you want to look at it. over the weekend. And yesterday, unfortunately, Inter Miami ended up losing to the LA Galaxy 3-2. It was an exciting game. I mean, it was a great first half for Miami. They were leading 1-0. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful setup from Higuain to Robbie Robinson, and Robinson found the goal for the first time in his career, and it looked like things were, turning around. And I got to tell you something, okay? And it's not because we're the flagship station and we carry the team and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty brutally honest about it all, no matter what. And I'm not going to be looking at this all doom and gloom yesterday, what happened, because Inter Miami played a really good game yesterday. What burned them were just a couple of moments where they had mental lapses and they screwed up and they gave up a couple of goals that they should not have given up. That's it. Outside of that, they were the more aggressive team. They came up with more chances. Now, do they have to be a little bit more efficient with those chances? Yeah, they've got to find. Federico Higuain cannot have that opportunity and not finish it. He has to finish that shot. You have to. You have no choice. You cannot miss those kind of shots, okay? And I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure the teammates know it. I'm sure the coach knows it. I'm sure everybody knows it, okay? And nobody is probably more disappointed than Federico himself. You know what I'm saying? So it was, if I'm an Inter Miami fan out there, I don't use this like it's the same old team from last year, because it is not. They played much more like a team this year than they ever did last year, okay? It was kind of what, Will Trapp was saying, that they were never a team. They were a group of individuals. I saw a team yesterday on the pitch. Now, was it a team that was ready? No. And I think the coach might have been onto something when he talked about how they didn't really have much of a preseason, and they played against a couple of MLS teams, USL teams. Meanwhile, the Galaxy played several games against MLS competition to get better, and probably conditioning-wise, the Galaxy, which I was hoping that the humidity here would affect them more in the second half. I think Miami probably was the one that was affected a little bit, because maybe they're not there yet, and this is just part of the process now. And so now you hope this week against Philadelphia, you're in better shape. Hopefully the week after that against Nashville, it'll probably take you about a month to kind of get into the kind of game shape that you need. But you know that you can compete with teams. You were threatening yesterday. You had opportunities. Now you have got to start seizing on those opportunities. And defensively, you just can't have those mistakes. You take those little mistakes out, because I did not watch the Galaxy dominate Miami. I did not watch the Galaxy. They were too physical for Miami. They were too fast for Miami. They were too smart for Miami. They were much better prepared than Miami. No, none of that. Miami was there. They just made a couple of mistakes in key moments that they cannot do. And if you take those mistakes out, they practically outplayed the Galaxy. So that's why I would like for people to take a step back. Okay, it's kind of like what's going on with Tua. Take a step back. Don't overreact. He's a rookie. He's coming back from a hip injury. He did really well overall, considering it's not a great offense. All of those things. But people are overreacting. Oh, he's a bust. He's not good enough. He's not tall enough. And so we've got some people that are frustrated, and I get it. It was a frustrating year last year. But I did not see the same kind of club on the pitch yesterday that I did all last year. All last year, I saw a team that was constantly confused, and they had no idea what they were doing from week to week, because the coach was constantly changing the formations and changing the responsibilities, and you were putting your players in a real deficiency. This is a game where they were right there, and their best player from last year, Lewis Morgan, had zero impact in this game. So you got to find a way to include him more into the game. Now, Lewis Morgan had an opportunity on the right side of the box where he mishandled the ball. Now, that's not his strength. His strength is one touch. His strength is pass. His strength is setting people up. His strength isn't dribbling through defenders and then trying to score. That's not his thing. So that was, he kind of put himself in a position of weakness is basically what he did yesterday. And so that's why he ended up turning over the ball. But those are the little things that they've got to figure out. And once they do, they're going to be home free. So don't overreact, okay? Take a step back. Let's see how they handle the next 2 weeks at Philadelphia and at Nashville, okay? Because that's the bitch, too. You need to get this win because now you go on the road for 2 straight weeks. And we all know Nashville's defense is not easy. Philadelphia's a playoff team, one of the top-tier teams in the Eastern Conference. This is going to be a bitch of a 2 weeks right now for Inter Miami. You got to find a way to win one of these two. Let's hope that they're able to do that. And please, Saturday night, we start at 7 o'clock with the pregame show. Come on out and join us at Dangerous Minds Brewing in Pompano. We're going to have a blast, giveaways, all kinds of good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to it.
The offense, I'm with you in the silver lining stuff, right? Because you got to be able to take something from it. The offense looked way better, like night and day. They look like a team, man. They like night and day compared to what they were last year, and it resulted in 2 goals, right? And numerous opportunities, 19 shots, 8 shots on goal, and to credit, their goalie blocked what would have been 2 other goals, right?
Yes.
So I mean, all in all, right? Does it end in a distasteful way? 100%. That's a game that you replay in your mind over and over again because there were so many opportunities. But the reality of the matter is, I don't see how you can say with the same coaching staff and the same roster last year that game is if the same not with what they had last year.
No.
It's not.
No, I didn't recognize this team yesterday because they were so discombobulated last year, and yesterday I was like, it was refreshing. They looked together. They looked like they knew exactly what they were supposed to do, and I love that. And that's because they had been practicing it for a couple weeks now, and so everybody knows what their responsibilities are. I thought Phil Neville did a really good job for his debut. I get it, dude. I get it. 3-2 loss is what. If it's a 3-2 win, it becomes a dynamic debut, and Phil Neville is, the hero and all of that. And we probably would have gone overboard the other way. Where some people are going overboard on the negative end of it, they would have gone overboard on the positive end of it if it would have happened. I just think that we've got to have a little bit more patience. It's only game 1 for this new coach. And some of the new players onto this team. I just saw a lot of positives yesterday to walk away and say, I saw plenty of games last year where it just didn't look like they had life. It just didn't look like they had any chemistry. It just looked like they were constantly, pointing fingers and complaining and this and that. And I just did not see that yesterday. I saw more of a team yesterday. So that's why I'm just going to preach patience right now and give it some time because I think it will develop. Okay? Herman says, Galaxy is one of those teams you can't miss those opportunities. I mean, Herman, they're not really a great team, but yesterday they're kind of fighting for the same thing as Miami. They're trying to get back. Miami's trying to move up and become one of those teams in this league. Galaxy's trying to get back to being one of those teams. And with all the changes and all of that, so the pressure was on them to kind of, also get back to being respectable. So both were very driven for different reasons. And listen, you just got to tip your hat to the Galaxy. They took advantage of the mistakes Miami made, and they ended up winning. But this is a game that the next time it rolls around, I'm going to be very confident that Miami has a shot at winning this game. I really do. Let's see. What else do we have? Inter is getting killed on being a failure so far. Well, they made the play-in game for the playoffs last year, so it's not the worst thing in the world. They weren't like the worst team in the league, and it was a really difficult expansion year. Again, calling it a failure after one season during a pandemic is pretty stupid.
Complete lack of perspective.
Right. It's like the idiots that give up on Gesicki in 1 year, or the idiots that giving up on Tua now, or stuff like that. It's just the typical overreaction of clueless fans. That's all it is. So, it is what it is. But I just think people should, have a little bit more perspective on actually what's going on. 888-441-4623. Haven't given out the phone numbers yet today. That's 888-441-4623 if you want to get in on the phone lines. The text line, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. That Ethan Ira hour is fire. You okay too, Julius 305. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm okay. Happy Monday, Big O. We are 10 days away from the draft. G from Pennsylvania. Yes, we are, G. I'm looking forward to it. These are the text line questions and comments and all kinds of good stuff. Good afternoon, Big O. Onside Radio and the Onside Zone is amazing. All of us listeners are lucky to have such a great sports talk radio. The Big O, fire as always. Ron from Michigan. Thank you, Ron. Very nice of you. Ron on the all-night telethon. Let's see. Big O, what do you think about the supporters yesterday? The supporters were amazing. It was so awesome to see the stands packed, the emotion going, the smoke bombs, all of those kind of things. I only have one question for the supporters, okay? This is the one question I have for the supporters and those that get caught up in this. So, Tito, you're in the supporters bench out there in the stands, and then all of a sudden they whip out this Vice City flag that starts from the bottom of the seats all the way to the top. So I'm just wondering, for those of you stuck in the middle under that banner, and you can't see anything until they take that banner off because you can't watch the game or anything like that. So I'm just wondering, what's it like under there? What the hell is going on down there? Are you guys just like,
I liken it to a big umbrella.
Yeah, or is there like a big smoke fest going on while, all right, we got the thing over us, everybody light up. I'm just wondering. And then, there's pink smoke coming out, and then there's white smoke. And so what is that white smoke that's coming out? I'm just wondering, what's going on under that thing? And does anybody get frustrated that they can't see the game for several minutes? Because it's not like it's up, they don't whip that thing out for 30 seconds there, Tito. They keep it up there for several minutes. So for several minutes, the people that are under that damn thing, they cannot see the game. Now, unless
those are the repercussions of sitting there.
Yeah, I guess. Well, maybe they're repercussions, maybe they're not, because then somebody can just sit down and light it up. You know what I'm saying? And nobody finds out about it. I'm just wondering what goes on. Anybody having sex under that? I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying, what's going on under that thing? Somebody whip out a grill and start grilling stuff? I mean, what's going on under that whole tarp? And here's the other thing. Why don't you guys at Vice City, the Siege, Southern Legion, when you make those, is it a two-way type of thing that you can see out so you can still see the game? That I don't know if they make that kind of material. It's kind of like our shade in a way that you can still kind of see out, but it's still blocking the rays of the light. Is it like that instead? Never heard of Inter Miami talk on QAM before this morning on Joe. What a joke. Well, I mean, they played yesterday, so they mentioned it. Not that they know anything. You know what I mean? But, yeah, as far as Beckham's promises and hires of coaches and players, I mean, again, you're reacting after 1 year in a pandemic. You know what I mean? So, them Canes, you kind of keep burying yourself into the abyss. You're reacting off 1 year in a pandemic where things were a lot tougher to build a team, So, but, I mean, it's all right, bro. You're probably the guy that gave up on Tua and Gesicki also. Let's see. Willie says, hey, Joe Rose is cool. Yes, he is. He's cool. Hey, have you heard if the Finns announced any plans of how many fans will be allowed in the stadium for home games this season? I don't know yet, but you know what, Lisa? They don't have to do anything. Because here's the thing, and I got to go to a break, so I'll explain it quickly. There's no reason for them to commit to a number. We're in April. They don't start till September. So why even commit to a number at this point in time? Because you have no idea where the country's going to be. I know we're up to 70,000 cases again. So it's like getting ridiculous because we have, of course, the folks that are like, oh, no, I'm not getting the vaccine. They're injecting a transistor in me and they're going to track me all over the place. No, I'm not doing that. Oh, the vaccine's a lie. Oh, it's a hoax. You have those people, So they're kind of setting everything back. So what happens? They don't know yet. You got to wait several months now to find out where we're at with this pandemic and what other variant shows up and those kind of things. So for them to say 20% or 50% or 75% now would be facetious. It wouldn't be smart because you don't know where the country's going to be dealing with in the pandemic. Now, they've already said that they expect full stadiums. They have said that. Now, whether it happens or not, I hope it does because I hope that means people are smart. They're still masking. They're still taking, they're getting the vaccine. We're doing the smart things to try to stay as safe as possible. Because, again, we still don't have a complete hold on this. I love how people freak out that the doctors don't know everything. Doctors don't always know everything. That's why they're always studying for their entire lives. Because things develop, they evolve. You learn more about whatever viruses, the human body, the immune system, cancer, you name it, whatever that they're studying, they find out more and more things about it. So you're constantly educating yourself and you're constantly trying to grow throughout all of this process. So don't be surprised that they don't have all the answers. But because we don't have all the answers, I think the NFL has to say, and there's no hurry. We don't start till September. So we'll find out down the line. Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Don't forget that every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. Air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The Panthers are finally back in South Florida following a 2-week road trip, and they kick off a 4-game homestand tonight when they host the Columbus Blue Jackets at BB&T Center. Florida's coming off a strong showing in Tampa, picking up 3 of a possible 4 points following 2 games against their cross-state rival. Right now with the Cats, it's all about the new guys, with several deadline additions making instant contributions. Sam Bennett picked up a pair of assists in his Panthers debut on Saturday, skating on a line with Jonathan Huberdeau and Anthony Duclair. Brandon Montour has fit in nicely and looked great paired up with Marcus Nuchavara. Nikita Gusev has flashed some offensive flair, particularly on Florida's top power play unit, and Lucas Wallmark has been strong defensively while winning 55% of his faceoffs since joining the Panthers. We'll see if those trends continue when the Cats open a back-to-back set with the slumping Blue Jackets tonight. Columbus arrives in South Florida having lost 5 straight and 12 of their last 14 overall.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dono, you missed.
So Deshaun Watson has sat down with new Texans head coach David Culley. Did he have his teeth in for the interview, David? He's a little older.
Hold on, let me get my dentures in here, Deshaun. Deshaun, hey, just give me a second. We're eating this pineapple here. It's getting stuck in my dentures.
Was he watching Murder, She Wrote during the meeting?
Deshaun, it's getting a little late here. It's 7 o'clock. I got to go to bed soon, all right?
Deshaun, it's 4:30. I've got to go to the early bird special.
Deshaun, give me a second. I'm just taking my Metamucil here. If you just give me a second.
I've taken Metamucil before, actually. It works. I'm not even that old.
Man of the Match with Alex Dono, weekdays live on South Florida's home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Welcome back. We take you, of course, till 3. Alex Dono will take over at that point. Yes. Lots of things to talk about. You know, one of the things that we always do is we do the round table every single day here on the station. And we give all of the gents a subject to talk about. And today, the Miami Heat will host the Houston Rockets. So I figured I would ask this. Through 16 games, Trevor Ariza has averaged 8.7 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 39% field goal percentage and 37% from three-point range. Tonight, Miami will host the Rockets and the return of Kelly Olynyk. KO averaged 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 43% from field goal range, and 31% from three-point range. After watching both on this team, who is the better fit and who makes the Heat better? Well, it's interesting because it all depends on how you want to look at it. I think offensively, at times, Olynyk will help you a little bit more than Ariza does. But Ariza on the defensive side is a superior player and a player that they desperately needed. And so I think you can have some fun and make arguments for both, and especially if you come from this, well, it's more of an offensive league. I'll take Kelly O, and all those kind of things. And there, you know, Kelly did get on a roll where he started grabbing a bunch of rebounds and things like that, and he started to actually play some of the things, actually help out a little bit more on defense. But he was never going to be the answer. And I think that when you really look at it, okay, I don't know if the Heat is really necessarily better with either guy. I don't think that either guy is that much of a difference that all of a sudden, oh my God, you've got a better chance at getting through this playoff round. Because in other words, it's not like Kelly O's offense is that much. It's so impressive that it takes their offense to the next level. And it's not like Trevor Ariza's defense and in the limited minutes that he plays makes such an. Put it this way. Alonzo Mourning had limited minutes that he could play on defense after the kidney ailment. But having said all that, in those limited minutes that he played, the impact he made defensively, especially in that Dallas series, was awesome. I mean, it was sick, okay? It was impressive as hell what he was doing. Kind of like Dedmon yesterday in, what did he play, 15, 16 minutes and had a double-double, right? Right? Is that what Dedmon played? I want to say.
Yeah, I think he did like 12 minutes, 10 and 10.
Yeah, it's like stupid. You know what I mean? So to me, that's where this argument kind of gets lost. Okay? Now, if I had to pick between the two, I'm going to take Ariza. I really am. I'm going to take Ariza by a hair. It's not anything great, but I think he slightly makes them better. But to me, the interesting twist of this argument, neither one makes the Miami Heat that much better, or it means that they're going to go farther in the playoffs, or that they're going to win 2, 4, 5 more games because either one is on this team. That's the part I find interesting. But on a night where tonight, when we watch the Heat, we're going to watch the guy that was on the Heat and the guy that's currently on the Heat. And it'll be interesting. So your thoughts there. How about you, Tito, before I go to the break?
I like Ariza better. I think he's a better three-point shooter, better defender. But I'm with you. Neither of them really move the needle for the Heat in the sense of like making a series impact type of winning, like winning a series. Like Trevor Ariza is not the difference between the Heat and winning and losing a series. That being said, I did think it was an upgrade from what Kelly was.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you agree with me. It's just in the end.
Yeah, in the end, it's minor detail.
Not enough of a difference maker,
right.
Unfortunately. All right, let's take a break. Let's go over the Inter loss yesterday afternoon to the LA Galaxy. Hey, Michelle Kaufman does an excellent job of covering Inter Miami on a daily basis. We will talk to the Miami Herald writer next.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
If you missed Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, then you missed this.
Beckham and Moss made it seem like it was the most important thing in the world that they had to talk about the academy and bringing up players from the academy to play for Inter Miami. And, well, they've not only done it, they've now done it in abundance. First, it was Felipe Valencia. And in a question asked about Felipe Valencia, David Beckham specifically mentioned another name in Ian Frey. This was now, in hindsight, a complete foreshadowing of what was to come this week, because Ian Frey has now signed as a first-team player for Inter Miami. Ian Frey also signed alongside his former teammate from Fort Lauderdale CF, Edison Ascona.
Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard every Saturday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Catch a South Florida staple every afternoon as Alex Dono hosts the Man of the Match. Dono covers everything from football to football to MMA. Tune in to one of the most complete sports shows in the country with Man of the Match with Alex Dono from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every weekday, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Inter Miami loses its opening match on Sunday to the LA Galaxy 3-2. Robbie Robinson gets his first goal of the season. Higuain also scoring a goal off of a PK. LA Galaxy storms back with 3 goals in the second half to get the win. Inter Miami's next match is Saturday. They take on the Philadelphia Union. Bam Adebayo gives the Heat the win at the buzzer with a jumper to win 109-107. Heat take on the Rockets tonight at 8 p.m. Heat going as a -8 favorite. And Marlins take 2 out of 3 from the San Francisco Giants. They get the Baltimore Orioles in Miami tomorrow. First pitch slated for 6:40 p.m. at Lone Depot Park. And in some soccer news, Jose Mourinho has been sacked by Tottenham. Just another club on the long list of teams that have sacked Jose Mourinho. With your Onside Sports update, I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more from the Onside Zone with the Big O right here, OnsideRadio.com.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Time to talk a little football. Michelle Kaufman does an excellent job of covering Inter Miami for the Miami Herald. She was here yesterday. I spoke to her yesterday. She was working hard, as always, covering the team. They lost yesterday to the Galaxy 3-2. Let's get her thoughts on it. Make sure you follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. More importantly, please subscribe to the Herald like I and many others do and support our local journalists who do an excellent job. Michelle, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? I just now posted a follow-up story because there was so much to say after that game that I could really only get about half of it in for the game story. So then I just did a follow-up that I just posted now.
You know, I talked about
some of the guys and Phil talking about what went wrong and that kind of thing. So
I talked a little bit about it yesterday, obviously in the post-game show, and then today on the on this show. And while it was disappointing to lose, I saw a ton of positives. I saw a team more than ever than I saw last year. And I really left it down to a couple of mistakes, actually, that really hurt them overall. But I was actually pretty impressed, considering this is Phil's first game. Didn't have really a full preseason because he didn't get to play a lot of MLS teams or anything like that to kind of fine-tune.
I didn't get to play any MLS teams.
Right. None. And so, to me, I thought for a first game, I was actually impressed, and I saw a team that was kind of more together than I ever saw last year. So I took a lot of positives away, along with, of course, the frustration of the score. But I think that if you looked at it and you thought, if you said, oh, same old Inter from last year, I don't think you really looked at the game, but let's get your thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think there were definitely a lot of positives. You know, I think the team definitely moved together better as a unit. You know, just visually when you're watching a soccer game, you know, I remember some coach along the way somewhere said, maybe one of my daughter's coaches, I don't know, you know, it should look like an accordion. You know, the whole team should be moving together at once. You know what I mean? Forward and back. And I saw a lot more of that unity yesterday. There seemed to be, you know, more organized. I guess the word would be more organized, more unified, which is something that they needed. I think that Robbie Robinson, I mean, I've always thought that Robbie Robinson deserved to be in there. I thought he had a really good start last year, the first 2 games, and then, you know, the pandemic hit and he left the team for a while, and when he came back, for whatever reason, Diego never put him back in. And the kid has a lot of talent. He's big, he's super fast, he's powerful, he's good on the ball, he's not afraid to take people on. And Phil Neville apparently is a big fan. He just is raving about the kid. So I thought he was a very promising player yesterday. I thought Gonzalo Higuain definitely was more animado, you know, more animated, more involved. You know, he was named a captain, and I think he's taking that seriously. He knows that last year he did not, you know, he struggled. He said it last week. He said that the adjustment to MLS was harder and more complicated than he anticipated. So he's very determined, as was Chicharito. They both were. I said in my story it was 2 teams that were mirror images of each other, because 2 big city teams, kind of glitzy teams that, you know, that are connected with David Beckham, that both had disappointing, you know, years, underwhelming last year. Both had star players that didn't perform. And so, you know, and both have new coaches this year. So they were 2 teams that were very, very similar. So I thought Gonzalo Higuain played very well. You know, he looked very involved, very engaged. And, you know, he obviously had a beautiful assist on Robbie's goal. And then he scored the PK, which last year he missed a PK. So that's an improvement right there. You know, defensively, I mean, Nico Figal was fantastic. He doesn't, you know, since he's a defender, he doesn't get as much ink as, you know, the attacking players, but I think he's really, really good in back. And, you know, the goalkeeping position is still, I think the jury's still out a little bit. He's got some improving to do. You know, they're bringing in another keeper, but not till July. So that's still, I would think, somewhat of a concern. The main thing what I read about today that everyone who spoke last night to us said, Phil, Gonzalo, and Robbie, is that there was fatigue. And then there were questions about, you know, why didn't he substitute sooner? He said that he had planned to substitute right around where Gonzalo got that PK, right around the 62nd, 65th minute. He was going to sub, but Phil felt that Robbie, Pizarro, and Gonzalo were all still making, you know, doing well and playing well, and he felt that they still had energy in the tank. He did not feel that it was the right time to make the change. So his first substitution was in the 72nd minute, then another one in the 82nd, whatever. But in the same breath, he did say that he felt that there was fatigue toward the latter part of the second half. And when that happens, he said players were just kind of kicking aimless long balls instead of, even though what they told the players is if you're tired, just possess. Just keep possession of the ball, tap it around 15, 20 times, you know, until you get your legs back. But he said that he felt that in some cases there were just some long balls out of, you know, tiredness. And that's what leads to loss of possession. And you know, you just, when you have Chicharito in the box, and the other thing I pointed out in my story today is, you know, props to Greg Vanny, the coach of LA, but he made a change, a tactical change at halftime. He brought in a second forward, and that opened up things for Chicharito, and it made it difficult for Miami's back line. Then had 2 forwards to deal with, one of them being Chicharito, who's very good at finding space in the box. And when they made that change, it looked like the Galaxy had a lot more scoring opportunities, because in the first half, Miami completely dominated. And LA really did not create too many scoring chances, but in the second half that changed.
All right, Michelle Kaufman joining us. Michelle, the other thing that I thought, and this is kind of part of the mistakes, LGP picks up that yellow card, 50 seconds into the game.
Early, in the first minute.
Yeah, first minute. And then when he's in the box with Chicharito, he has to be somewhat careful. I mean, you got to be careful in the box already as it is, but then that put him in a real disadvantage because from the first minute on, you now are playing with a yellow card, and one more mistake, not only is it a PK in that situation, but now you're out for the game. And so now they score. And out for the next game, exactly. But at that game now, you're trailing, and your guys are playing with 10 men because of that. And I thought that kind of put LGP in a really difficult situation, mentally and physically, right there in the box.
Yeah, that's a very good point that I wish I had thought of that. I didn't mention that, but you're right. He got carded in the very first minute of the game, and that definitely affects your mental and your physical approach to the game. For basically for 89 minutes plus, he's playing with a yellow card, and maybe you back up, maybe you're just not quite as aggressive and assertive. When you're playing with a yellow in that situation, you've got Chicharito, who's already a handful to begin with, and then you're playing with a yellow, so you're a little bit tentative maybe, a little thoughts enter your brain that wouldn't if you didn't have a card. So, yeah, that's a very good point because he, the one goal for sure was LGP, Chicharito got right behind him. I think that was the one or the second one where LGP ended up on the ground, So that's a good point. That is a good point, that he was playing with a yellow for the entire game minus 1 minute.
And I wonder I wonder how the coach will handle it this week because they play now on a Saturday, so they're not going to get a whole week. Like next week, they'll play on a Sunday, so they'll get a whole week off before they travel to Nashville. This week, you get kind of 5 days to rest. And I'm wondering, because they've got to worry about conditioning, will he go earlier to the bench on the road in this game against Philadelphia?
Yeah, he might. Also, partly because he was asked about it so much after the game yesterday. Like, why did you wait so long? And LA subbed earlier than you did and whatever. He just said it was a timing thing. He just felt that he felt that the team looked really good at that point, and he didn't, But then he did say that there was fatigue that set in, and like I said, that when fatigue sets in, mistakes set in, that they're intertwined with each other, and But overall, I think overall, first of all, the atmosphere, the crowd, we got a taste of what this team can be. When that place is full, it was already an amazing atmosphere yesterday, even with just 8,000, and really only the end zone. The north stands, where the supporters are, were really wild and packed. The rest of the stadium was very spaced out and social distance, which is good for COVID. My husband was sitting in the safer, socially distanced part of the stadium. But the atmosphere was amazing, and the team played with a lot of energy. I like Phil Neville so far as a coach. He's very open. He answers questions. He seems to like dealing with the media. He was in the media. Most recently, and before he took the England women's job, he's worked in TV, so I think he understands the media part of it and the sort of connecting with fans and media part of the job, which is a part of a job of being a coach, especially of a new franchise. I think there were a lot of positives. There definitely were a lot of positives, and I actually thought they were going to win. And when they scored that first goal, I really thought, oh, this is going to happen. And then when Higuaín scored the PK and they went ahead again, I said, okay, they're going to do this. They're going to finally win. They're a home game and whatever. But it was, it is different, but they did make some of the same errors. Last year, if you recall,
yes,
kind of like a broken record, they would score and then immediately let the other team score.
Yeah.
They would go ahead and then immediately let the other team score the equalizer. They do, this group, for whatever reason, does tend to have a letdown after it scores. And I know that that's probably human nature, not just for this team. But this team has really suffered from that, dating back to last year. There were games that they would go ahead, and then while I was still writing the goal, like I'm still tweeting out that they scored and they're ahead, and then the other team would come back and, and put one in the next 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, never, and that was the same trend as yesterday. I do think the team is energized. I think it's better. There's no question, but I do think that is an issue. When they score, they need to really lock down on defense immediately, and they don't. They tend to let up, and that's something that needs to be worked on for sure.
Well, let's hope they do a better job on the road this week against Philadelphia. Are you traveling? Or are you covering?
We haven't talked about Matuidi.
Oh yes. What's the deal with Matuidi? Go ahead. What do you got?
The Matuidi deal is that the lead. Don Garber said yesterday that there will be sanctions. Those are his exact words. There will be sanctions against Inter Miami. And he said, the rules in our league are sacrosanct, and it doesn't matter who your owner is. It doesn't matter who runs your team or who the GM is or what market you're in. He was basically saying,
can I ask you something about that?
It's Miami and it's David Beckham. Huh?
Let me ask you something. The league runs the entire thing. They approve. They approve everything. So why did they approve something then and now are backtracking on it? Because nothing happens without league approval. So the league had this on their table when they added Matuidi. Why did they not just correct it then? At that point, and why did they let it happen? Because see, if this was ruled independently, I would understand. But the league runs the show on everything that goes on.
The contracts are with the league, right? The contracts are actually with the league,
right? They did all this, and now it's their own mistake in a way. They should have just they didn't know their own rules when they approved this trade, because no trade, no move, no signing, no nothing goes on in the MLS without the MLS approval. So what happened when they approved it then, and now they're going to hold Miami against it? That doesn't make any sense. I get it if it was done individually, but it's not. It's weird.
They said that they're going to be fully transparent and we're going to know all the details this week. My guess, the only thing that would make sense is that the compensation that was on the table, the salary and the compensation was legit and was fine. But there may have been some perks that maybe the player was given that was not part of the contract. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
whether
okay.
it be a house,
I got you.
A car, other gifts and perks that may have been. This is. I don't know that. Okay. I am suggesting that is a plausible situation. Yeah. Anything involving the actual salary and contract.
But Michelle, but wait a minute. They're talking designation. They're not talking. They're not talking about any kind of other gifts. If I understand correctly, they're saying designation. He should not have been designated as what's the damn? I'm losing the term.
Right, but that's because any kind of gifts or perks that are not cash money is not, what I think what they're going to say is that if he received something beyond the cash money, that should have counted as compensation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, DP, by the way, is what I was looking at.
The cash money number, the cash, and this is, again, I don't know this. This is Michelle Kaufman talking just from my thinking about it. And how could something like this happen, okay? The way it could happen, the only thing I can see is that the cash money that was on the contract that everybody signed by the little X, the money was TAM level money. It was not DP level salary. But if he was given a beautiful home or a waterfront condo or something, that should count as compensation. And that is something that perhaps the league didn't know about. That is the only thing that I could think. Because if it's just the money and the numbers and the contract and whether you're designated as DP or TAM, the league absolutely would have known about that. The league vets every contract. So I think, I am just guessing, that it is something beyond that. Right. We're going to find out this week. They said that they're going to be transparent and they're going to say what happened. So we will know a lot more this week, and there are going to be sanctions. And the question will be, what are the sanctions? I'm sure they're going to be fined, some kind of hefty fine. But on top of that, I'm sure they have to do something that affects the team's, competition value. In other words, take points away in the standings or not allow them to bring in any international players for a year or two, or take away a DP, or, I don't know. But I think it's going to be a pretty serious sanction. I do.
Well, you want to keep up with that and so much more, subscribe to the Miami Herald and follow Michelle Kaufman on Twitter at Kauf Sports. Michelle, as always, you are awesome. Great information. I appreciate you. Look forward to talking to you again next week.
All right. Sounds good.
You got
Have
it.
a good week.
There you go. The great Michelle Kaufman. Awesome stuff. And look forward to that Philadelphia game. Hopefully they can get back on the winning track. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back for the final segment of hour number 2 right here on OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
If you missed NBA insider Ira Winderman and the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report, you missed this.
Andre Iguodala is sort of like the old Cadbury Easter egg. It only shows up, rarely, like once a year. Andre shows up in the fourth quarter. I almost have to check the bench early to see if Andre's at the game yet in the first quarter or the second quarter. He's done a really good job with measuring the time for guys. Eric Spoelstra knows. He's been through enough deep playoff runs to know.
The Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report with NBA insider Ira Winderman, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnsideRadio.com studio. Call a Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
At Baptist Health, we are ready.
To serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits.
with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine, and multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Baseball fans will go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Saturday at 8 a.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We're back. Final segment of hour number 2. Michelle Kaufman, as always, we thank her. She is outstanding. outstanding as always. Appreciate it. What do we got going on? Tremolio says, freaking pathetic showing by Inter. You get what you pay for. You hire a girls' school coach and you get girls' school coaching. Well, Tremolio, I mean, you're overreacting on one game. And one game that they actually played well. They made a couple mistakes, but, So he goes, I'm not a hater. I love Inter, just pointing out to inter-game facts. Well, but the facts are they played a good game. It was just a couple mistakes that they made. I mean, dude, they had 19 shots. They actually were very active. They just got to obviously tweak a couple things there. And when you get no preseason, you play 2 USL teams. You don't play any MLS teams. Again, it's just kind of part of the overreacting from some fans. But then again, that happens all the time with folks. Anyway, what else do we have on it? Seems like we've got a troll now, right? Is that what it looks like? Because it's just
it's just 2 guys urinating on Inter because they have nothing better to do. They have nothing else to talk about.
Okay.
Week away from the draft, everybody. You're almost there, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Can't wait for the draft. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. I am definitely looking forward to the draft and looking forward to our draft party at Sports Grill. We encourage all of you out there to join us at Sports Grill on Bird Road and 114th. We'll be out there Thursday night and Friday night. So night 1 and 2 of the draft. We're not doing night 3. But there may be another show coming down the line also. So we're discussing all of those things now. We're trying to get through all of those issues there. But anyway, so we're going to have some fun, and we're going to have a great draft party actually out there at Sports Grill. So come on by and join us at Sports Grill. We'll definitely have a good old time. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. If you want to get in, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show on the YouTube chat board. Don't forget to start your mornings at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Inter Miami CF fans, Onside Radio is the place to guide you through the 2021 season. Go to our website at OnsideRadio.com and download any of our apps to listen to your favorite team. OnsideRadio.com is your home for La Rosa Negra. OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Michael Christian.
If you played Warzone this past weekend, chances are you were killed by the newest broken gun, the Cycop pistol. Warzone has a long history of broken guns that are way too overpowered, like the Bruin, DMR, AUG, and FFAR, just to name a few. These weapons eventually did get their stats lowered, but sometimes it took way too long. The Cycop was first discovered back in February, when a small group of players were able to use it in plunder matches. They realized the weapon was overpowered, but they figured the gun would be balanced before being released to the general public. Well, now that the gun is out without any balancing, it has completely taken over the game. If you want to spend your time unlocking it, I'd wait. Chances are, by the time you get all the attachments you need, Call of Duty will have lowered the stats.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Time to get in the zone. The Onside Zone.
And look, man, I don't care if you're my wife. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say it. You know what I mean?
The Onside Zone.
He's a liar. And there's nothing new about that. He's full of crap. If you're believing that, I got a bridge in the Keys. It's the one on the right side. Just want you to know, when you're going south, you'll see the smaller bridge on the right. I've got that one for sale if you're interested.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
That's the one boy band that I will say, dude, I'll stand up for Boys to Men every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Love those guys.
You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. The Onside Zone with a big O.
All right.
Minimum of 3 minutes to be added on.
A lot of
this
things
first half
have become better, but some things have stayed the same, guys. In this first half, the final third, the final ball, the finish is just not there. But still, an improved performance from this team.
We are into the first minute of added time. As Grancier hits a long ball out towards Chicharito, can take down in the area. Leggett wants the ball square. Tries to play it towards him, but OTP has won it back. Now Robinson getting his head up and looking to find the next ball for the break. Gregory.
And interesting we say that, the Galaxy seems to have still the same problem too in that final third.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in. That's a square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil. Goal!
Fernando Fiore, as always, coming through. We love Fernando Fiore, man. Great stuff by Fernando, and we appreciate him. And Thomas Rongan, Chris Whittingham, excellent call yesterday. The boys are just going to have to do a little better on Saturday against Philadelphia, and hopefully they can get back on track. Again, I see some people on the chat board overreacting after one game. It's just, again, you gotta give things some time to actually measure it. And if you actually watch the game, they played a good game. It was just a couple of key mistakes. And sometimes that happens. That doesn't mean you played a terrible game. It just means you made a couple key mistakes that ended up costing you the game, and you ended up losing 3-2. It wasn't an ass-kicking or anything like that. It wasn't like the Galaxy dominated or anything like that. Miami had plenty of opportunities. They created more opportunities, actually, than the Galaxy. They just got to find a way now to finish them. And we'll see if Saturday in Philadelphia they'll be able to finish it out. 888-441-4623 if you want to get in on the show. That's 888-441-4623. You want to get in on the text line. It's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123 if you want to get in on the program. Plenty of ways to reach out to us here on the show. Of course, YouTube, you can. We definitely need you to subscribe. We definitely need you to hit the like button. That is very important. And of course, there's the chat board. You can have at it and knock yourself out there on the chat board. I just saw now where Alden Smith may be wanted for a battery charge now. And Alden has had all kinds of issues, DUIs. I think he had domestic issues too. Well, excuse me. He signed with the Seahawks last week. And so now Travis Mackerel of WDSU shares a bulletin from the St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's James Pullman stating that Smith is wanted for second-degree battery. Smith allegedly committed the battery during an incident at the French Press Coffee House in Chalmette, that is. Macro adds that law enforcement leaders say there is video evidence of the incident. The bulletin adds that Smith was last seen in a white Nissan sedan and asked that anyone with knowledge of Smith's whereabouts contact the sheriff's office. So he was with the Cowboys last year, which the Cowboys always love to pick real winners. And Aldon Smith look, I've talked about this in different ways. Okay? Whether we're talking about, Jeff Reed or whatever, I think is the name of the Florida tight end that was in Washington, went to San Francisco, signed him. Was it Jordan Reed? Is it Jordan Reed or something? The kid that's had like 87 concussions. And it's like,
Justin Reed.
I don't think it's Justin.
You might be right then. Jordan Reed. Yeah, it's Jordan Reed. Yeah.
It's Jordan Reed?
You got it right, yeah.
I did? Okay. I'm not sure, man. You know me. It's Sealer, Seiler. I'm not exactly. I get all confused. So anyway, the kid Reed has had 4,000 concussions. He has no business playing in the NFL, yet the NFL doesn't give a crap about human beings, so they continue to let him play. Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon has failed 8,000 drug tests. He's got alcohol issues. He's got drug issues. He's got all kinds of issues. And they've given him 8,000 chances in the NFL. This is a guy that already burned every possible bridge on Mother Earth. And these are things that the NFL does that I don't get, dude. I don't get. These are people that you should not, one, to stop them from their own, killing themselves, basically, and that's what Reed is doing with concussion after concussion, or a guy like Josh Gordon who clearly cannot handle pro football and life, and yet you keep putting him in that position, and he keeps failing in every way possible. And Aldon Smith, if this video is true, how many more arrests does Aldon Smith need? How many DUIs? These are things that I don't understand from the NFL. Okay, excluding Reed because I'm talking about health issues in his case. But some of these other guys who are just absolute scumbags, why do you keep allowing these scumbags to keep getting opportunities? Because Aldon Smith is a scumbag. So I that's the part I don't understand. And this is why whenever the NFL talks about, we got to worry about player safety and all that, you're a liar. That's all. You people don't care about player safety. You don't care what happens to these guys. You don't care. And listen, most of us don't care. We root for them, and then once they retire, nobody gives a crap about Earl Campbell. You don't care that he's in a wheelchair. You don't care that his life has been really bad over the last few years. Nobody cares. You rooted him on when he was running on that concrete with a carpet in the Astrodome for many years and just beating up the crap out of his body. Beat it up so much that he can't walk now. He's got to, go around in a wheelchair. And, Jim McMahon has to be taken everywhere because his memory, he'll forget how to get home and things like that. And they just die behind the scenes and nobody ever cares. The families have to pick up the pieces. But yet the NFL just keeps serving these guys up or allowing these scumbags like Aldon Smith to keep getting chances. And they don't deserve them, man. Josh Gordon, clearly, dude, you have so many chemical issues, you have no business being in the NFL. And yet they give him 80,000 chances. It's so ridiculous. Are you going to be streaming your draft? Yes, we are. We will have a camera over at Sports Grill, so we will stream it. So for those of you that can't be live with us, you'll be able to watch it. Hey, look, that's what this station's all about. We're in the digital era, okay? It's one of the things that I learned over the last year with my podcast. That we had a lot of success with the podcast, a freak load of downloads. It was awesome. And we had over 2 million downloads in our first year of the podcast. Well, our only year, because we've done a couple of extra months, but we didn't do as much. But we had a lot of success. And one of the things that where we're headed, it's not antennas anymore. That's why radio's dying, and that's why even normal television is dying. It's all on demand. It's all digital. It's all .com. It's apps. It's podcasting. So that's what we are. We're going to be a station that we'll broadcast live every day. But everything that's broadcasted will get podcasted. That's kind of the way it is. That's the way it goes. And that's the way we're going to handle things. Because that's the only way to handle these kind of things. Because you don't have the time. You work, you got family, so you don't get to hear people on a specific time that you've got to be there in front of the radio. But now you know that, hey, if I missed a roundtable, I can go download it. If I missed, Kai, I can go listen to KCC. Oh, man, I missed Juan over the weekend. Let me listen to him. That kind of stuff. That is really important to have that capability. So we get it, man. YouTube will be another one of those. And we're only scratching the surface on what we're going to do with video, too, at this point in time, because we got a lot of growing to do. And Matt Walker is telling me it's Jordan Reed, and so is Herman. Thank you. Hard to remember all of this crap. But yes. Or sign Greg Hardy after domestic violence. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Yep. But what are you going to do? It's just, it's terrible to see that. I saw there where the Foo Fighters are pushing back their European tour to 2022. I have noticed a lot of this now, man. There's a lot of bands pushing back their concert dates to 2022. And that is just absolutely... I had no idea that Newfound Glory was playing last week in town. I would have given anything to be at that concert, pretty much. Because I love concerts so much, I assume there are no concerts going on, so I haven't even looked it up. I don't even know. Does anybody know any decent bands coming to town in the next month or two here? In this week? God, I need to know, man. I got to look it up now. I got to see if there's actually any places where they're actually holding some concerts, because I would love to go, man. I'm vaccinated. I'll mask up. I'll double mask and go to a concert. I don't care what I got to do. I just want to go enjoy some music, man. I'm not the one that, listen, I want to drop the mask too, but if I have to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. I'm good. I'll get by. It's not the end of the world. Let's see. I don't know what you guys are in another conversation there, but yeah, seeing that Foo Fighters note, that was disappointing. I got to admit. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Hey, at the bottom of the hour, Danny Vietti, I think is how it's pronounced. Danny Vietti, he's the senior social producer with CBS Sports and the Wake and Rake podcast, talking a lot of baseball. So, he was commenting a lot on the Marlins, so I wanted to bring him on and talk a little Marlins baseball with him, since the Marlins are actually doing really, really well. And speaking of baseball, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. At a shade above Window Fashions in Davie, Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie is an official Bandalux partner.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnsideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Alex Aguirre.
The Miami Marlins have made it back-to-back series wins after taking 3 out of 4 in Atlanta and out 2 out of 3 against the Giants. Unfortunately, the bats were quiet in the series finale against San Francisco, and Miami couldn't complete the sweep, getting shut out 1-0. Pablo Lopez did set a career high in strikeouts with 9 in 6 strong innings. Starling Marte was pulled out of yesterday's game in the middle of his 9th inning at bat due to what appeared to be an injury in his oblique area. Marte was taken out of the game after John Mattingly and the team trainer had a look. The Fish have the day off today and are back in action tomorrow to host the Baltimore Orioles for a quick 2-game series. Last season, Miami swept Baltimore in their 4-game series at Camden Yards, and 2 of those wins were by shutout. Let's hope the Marlins pitching staff can repeat that type of performance. First pitch is tomorrow at 6:40. Let's go Fish.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Watch Toast get frustrated with Marsh. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Robinson into Pizarro, and a challenge coming in right on the edge of the area, and he's given a penalty. Referee Chris Pensa pointing to the spot.
Rightfully so.
Caught Pizarro just on the edge of the box, and in the end, the referee determining it was inside. It will be a penalty to Inter Miami on 67 minutes. Is staring at it straight up. Higuain v. Bond. Chris Pensa is clear the penalty area. And now Gonzalo Higuain to open his 2021 account. This is a massive moment for Inter Miami's designated player. Big signing from Juventus in the summer of last year. Higuain now approaches it. Gonzalo Higuain from the spot, sends the keeper the wrong way, places it in the right corner, and Gonzalo Higuain has restored Inter Miami's advantage from the spot.
I love it. Boys just got to just got to tweak it a little bit, man. It was a really good performance yesterday. They just got to stay away from those key mistakes. And I tell you, LGP picking up that yellow in the first minute affected him against Chicharito in that box because he had to be very careful in that box of picking up that extra yellow and obviously handing them a free kick there, you know, and that obviously you give them a goal kick and it's over, you know what I mean? So it was tough. It was tough yesterday because it was a kind of performance that was worthy of a win, and unfortunately you came up a little short. I think once you get the conditioning going, I think you should start seeing them eliminate those kind of things because I thought Neville, considering where they were, you know, all of last year and what I saw in game one, I think Phil Neville made a ton of progress. I'm actually really intrigued to see how they handle the road game against Philadelphia on Saturday because that will be a very tough game. By the way, you know, it's spring, summer's right around the corner. You know what happens now, right? It starts to get hot, and then it gets sweltering hot. and then that humidity eats you alive. And the thing you're always dying to do is get in your car and crank up the air. The thing you're dying to do is get to the office because the air is cranked up. You're dying to get home and crank up the air. And then at home, you're going to beat that AC up. So whether you're at work and you're running the AC overtime or you're at home running it overtime, please call M&S Air Conditioning. Call Mike and Greg right now, 954-421-3680. That's 954-421-3680. Have them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter. Folks, that thing destroys the biological contaminants in the air. So if people are sneezing and wheezing and all that stuff so you don't get a cold, yes, COVID, of course, all of those kind of things. Not just COVID, but colds and everything else. And listen, you can also get a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. This way, you can make sure that AC at home or in business is running smoothly and you have no breakdowns, because then if you have a breakdown in the middle of the summer, that is not going to be fun. And M&S Air Conditioning, let me tell you, if your AC unit is on the brink, they are a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you will receive a 12-year warranty. We have Mitsubishi systems all throughout this stadium. So I'm telling you, M&S Air Conditioning, they do a great job. 954-421-3680. Save it on that cell phone, 954-421-3680, or go to ac-florida.com and tell them that Big O sent you. It's always a beautiful thing. 888-441-4623 if you want to get in on the program. How about, did you watch the Jake Paul and Ben Askren event there?
I did
Tina?
not.
I did not either, because there's no way in hell that I'm going to pay for that. But they had well over 1 million buys on it. I mean, people will buy anything. I know they had Bieber performing. Snoop was performing, I think. Snoop has a new group or something that he's managing. They were performing. There were all kinds of people that were actually performing. So they made it kind of like a show and a boxing event too. But I saw the headlines, or not the highlights of it on social media. And I got to say something. Ben Askren, brother, you are an embarrassment. You look like me in that ring. You're disgusting, dude. And you got punked by Jake Paul, bro. I mean, they knocked your ass out silly. Sure, you made money, but dude, you are now a meme. You are now, you put it this way, whatever you accomplished in your profession, you just killed it all by getting your ass kicked by a YouTuber. And you were talking all this crap. You had the moment to actually teach the YouTuber a lesson. And look, man, I'm not a fan of the Paul brothers much, but I got to give those guys some credit, man. And they continue to make a name for themselves. They continue to, dupe people into doing this stupid stuff. Nate Robinson will never be the same again. They don't care what you did on the basketball court. Everybody's going to remember that your ass got flattened by a YouTuber. And Ben Askren, dude, you're an embarrassment, bro. You went in there like a fat ass, and you got treated like a fat ass that was out of shape. And they knocked your ass out silly. I mean, listen, if you're going to talk the talk, then walk it, bro. So you thought you could get off the couch and beat the kid who is actually training and in shape. Because from the video, I don't know if you saw at least the highlights, Tito. Ben Askren looked like me, and Jake Paul was in shape, dude. He was ready for it. He didn't go in there like a slob. He went in there and he took – because you know what? The difference is Jake Paul appreciates not getting his ass kicked. So he did everything to do the ass kicking. Whereas Ben Askren thought he was going to go kick some Askren, and he got his Askren kicked.
Right. Yeah, I mean, something that was of note was throughout Ben Askren's career, he's made $800,000 through his entire UFC career.
He made more in this.
In that one fight, in that 10 seconds, he made $500,000, which points to the video of him walking out smiling. And look, I don't know. I don't care. The guy got paid. You know, did he look like a clown? For sure. Because, like, you don't sign up for a fight and get paid that just to go out like a bitch, to be honest. So, I mean, congrats to Askren, man. You got a paycheck at least.
Yeah, you got a paycheck, but enjoy the paycheck.
Yeah, you look
bro.
you look like a bitch.
Yeah. Now you got the paycheck will not make up for how you're going to get killed now, and now you're going to be the brunt of it, all these jokes and all that kind of stuff. Because, dude, you were a joke. Like, seriously, you were so cocky. You did not train for this, and you walked in there like a complete slob. You walked in there like a radio host, and you got your ass kicked like a radio host would get his ass kicked by walking into that ring with Jake Paul. Wow. I mean, dude, have some professionalism. I know this. If I was going to get in that ring with Jake Paul, at least I would have trained. I would have trained to be in shape and try to beat him. That's what I would have done if I was Askren. But Askren was so freaking cocky and such an ignorant fool that he didn't train thinking, and don't let him kid you, if he ever comes out and says, I didn't take it serious, I don't care. No. That idiot actually thought he was going to beat Jake Paul just coming off the couch. I've been a professional fighter my whole career. I'll take him down. He's just a YouTuber. Dude, that guy's training. He's trying. He's in shape. He's young. You better walk in there and try to teach him a lesson. You don't just show up like that. If it was me, then yeah, Ben Askren could probably show up fat and beat my fat ass. Okay? I got 5 stents in my heart. I'm out of shape. Yeah, damn right. He's probably going to beat my ass. But you're going to go up against Jake Paul. Dude, at least prepare, bro. At least, you're an athlete. You're supposedly a former fighter. Bro, act like it. Teach them a lesson. Show people what the pros are and what an amateur is. The amateur was Ben Askren. The pro was Jake Paul. It's crazy. I saw it and I was like, I thought Askren was just a complete slob, dude. Seriously. It's like he walked out of an ice cream parlor and then just went to fight him. So, it is what it is. All right, let's take a break. Danny Vietti is going to join us on the other side from CBS Sports. Let's talk a little baseball. Marlins, man, they took 2 of 3 from the Giants, 3 of 4 from the Braves. Boys are playing well. Is it real? Is it Memorex? Can they keep it going? We'll talk to Danny Vietti. We'll have some fun with him next.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with Adhd, ACO, and CHAD.
Miami Dolphins fans, join us for OnsideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami, 11481 Southwest 40th Street, Bird Road. Join Big O and Alex Dono for this 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 p.m. and Friday, day 2 at 6:30. Drink and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a 2-night event as OnsideRadio.com and Sports Grill on Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
And we hit 18,953. And since then, we have recovered 73%, and we're now at all-time record highs. So there's an old saying, when there's blood in the streets, it's time to buy stocks, baby. And that was the time to buy. And another thing is, when the Uber driver tells you to buy something, you get out.
4th and 20, weekday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on OnsideRadio.com.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat tipping off tonight. They take on the Houston Rockets. They got the win yesterday over the Brooklyn Nets. Bam Adebayo with a game winner to give them the win 109-107. Heat tip off against the Rockets at 8 p.m. Heat going as an 8-point favorite. Bam Adebayo is listed as out. However, Gabe Vincent listed as probable. Tyler Hero listed as questionable. Miami Marlins are on the mound tomorrow. They take on the Baltimore Orioles at Lone Depot Park. First pitch is set for 6:40 p.m. They start a 2-game series with the Orioles. And in some soccer news, Jose Mourinho has been fired or sacked by Tottenham. Another team added to the list of Jose Mourinho's coached squads. With your Onside Sports Update, I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more of the Onside Zone with the Big O right here, OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
All righty, welcome back. You know, the Marlins, man, over the weekend, they took 2 of 3 from the Giants. They took 3 of 4 from the Braves before that. Impressive, man. It was a rough start early on, but the boys are playing much better baseball right now. Danny Vietti, by the way, is a senior social producer with CBS Sports. He also does the Wake and Rake podcast, talking a little baseball, so you can check him out. Follow him on Twitter at Danny Vietti. Danny, good afternoon, my brother. Thank you for taking some time to join us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
It is fantastic. I appreciate you. I saw you giving some love to the Marlins. So should we be believers? Because they're young as hell, my brother. Can they keep this up? I know last year, the shortened season, all those things, with the right situation, things fall into place. You can surprise some people. But in 162 games, Danny, you and I know it's really hard to surprise people.
Yeah, it surely is. It's going to be a lot tougher with 162. There's no doubt about it. I think worst case scenario is you got a fun bunch down there in Miami. I mean, really, it could be a lot worse. You have a team that's trying to compete. You can't say that with certain teams across the league. I mean, you look at Texas, you look at Pittsburgh, it's really hard to make a case for those squads that they're actually trying to win games and they're not trying to tank the season away. You can't say that about Miami. I mean, you look at their rotation. Sandy Alcantara, I believe, is the best pitcher that nobody knows about. Yeah, I mean, the kid, he's throwing upper 90s consistently. He's got a nasty off-speed slider to go with it, and then his changeup's really coming along too. I mean, the kid's nasty. And the Marlins are doing this without Sixto too. I mean, a 7-8 start isn't the best start in the world, but with that division, that's what's going to make it really tough. But the Mets, the Phillies are playing good ball, and their bullpen has shored itself up. The Braves have gotten off to a slow start, but they'll find their way. I think that's the biggest question mark if you're considering the Marlins to be contenders or pretenders. It's really just going to have to come down to what they can do within that division, because it's going to be highly, highly competitive.
Dude, is it the Marlins pitching staff the best pitching staff nobody knows about? Actually, in a way, right? I mean, think about it. I felt so good for Pablo yesterday. It sucked that they didn't get the win, but he kind of needed that outing yesterday. And he goes 6 innings and allows no runs and 9 Ks, and so it was nice for him because he had a rough outing in the last one. But you look at Rogers and all these cats, and like you said, they even haven't gotten Sixto back, and Sixto stuff is freaking electric. This might be the pitching staff that nobody really knows about, and yet it's a really nice young pitching staff here.
It's funny that the Marlins don't get enough credit, really. And I understand it's not the buzziest team. You know, their revenue is 30th over the past couple of years, last in the league. And it's not the team. You know, they're not the Yankees. But this team's fun, man. I mean, talk about Jazz Chisholm. We talked about the pitching staff. Jesus Aguilar is just a really fun individual. And they don't have any big names necessarily. But Starling Marte is a really good leader, too, who they brought over last year, of course. He's electric in the field and just full of energy. I think this team's really fun. Miguel Rojas is a really fun guy to be just to follow, and he's been a really good team leader as well. So I don't know why Miami doesn't get more attention. I really don't. Maybe it's because they've struggled getting fans in the stands. Maybe it's because they have struggled. But they've had fun teams in the past, too. I think a lot of people forget. Just when Jose Fernandez, passed away a few years back, rest in peace. But that team was so much fun with Marcelo Ozuna, Jose, Giancarlo. That team was a whole lot of fun too. And then that kind of, collapsed from within. But man, the Miami Marlins are coming up with some fun teams. I mean, and this team's no different. The pitching staff, they don't have one pitcher over 26 years old. So this team's going to be fun for a lot of years to come as well.
Yeah, Danny, the problem is that Jeter inherited the history of the Marlins, unfortunately. And the history is that no players, players don't stick around. There's never a long commitment. So it's almost like, all right, yeah, the Marlins, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, those players will be playing on other teams down the line. And so they've got that stigma that they've got to erase. And so until Jeter and Sherman start shelling out the bucks, and obviously they don't need to do that right now because they're still in developmental stages, but in a few years when these guys are arbitration eligible and then they can start getting contracts, the day you start spending and keeping a core together is, I think, when you start getting that respect, when people will start looking at you on a consistent basis, because you gave a great example of a couple years ago. Marlins had the best outfield in baseball, and yet now they're all gone, dude. All those players, and unfortunately, obviously lost Jose to a tragedy, but even saying all of that, Yelich would have been a contract that you should have never traded because it was as friendly as it could possibly get for a MVP caliber type player. That's the kind of contract that you should have kept and built around, and yet they're all gone. So it's almost like until they erase that stigma, it's like people won't give them the time of day. They won't respect them. They won't actually commit their emotions to them because they're afraid of constantly getting screwed.
Yeah, and look, and the problem is, too, within that state, Tampa Bay has had more success than Miami has over the past few years, at least in recent years. So if you're looking just at the state of Florida and what the fan base is looking for, the Tampa Bay Rays have had more success. At the same time, neither of those two teams are exactly flourishing with star power. I mean, Tampa Bay is not exactly known for signing big-time contracts. They're one of the lowest revenues in the league, along with Miami. So if you're talking about Miami, just a fun environment, fun entertainment product, it's Miami. I think Tampa Bay obviously has had more success, but Miami is electric in the field. They don't have a starting pitcher over, I think I said this already, they don't have a starting pitcher over 26 years old. And, I mean, Eliezer Hernandez, Sixto Sanchez, Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, looking really, really good so far. So if you're a Miami Marlins fan and you're in the least looking for a good product, why not head out to Lone Depot Field, now that it's called, and catch a good ball game? Because I think that's what this team is missing right now is, obviously with the restrictions with COVID, you're not allowed to have that 100% capacity, but to really have a team following to get behind this squad. I think that's what this franchise has been missing for a lot of years. And it's not an indictment at all against the fan base. It's just a simple fact, to your point, they haven't been consistent over the years, and they don't have the respect of not only the local fan base, but also across the league. So if you get the fans start coming out to Lone Depot Field, you start to build that product and add to that entertainment factor, it's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of years down there in Miami.
Yeah, I'm with you there. How about Jazz, dude? It's so cool to watch him kind of break out. And this would be, again, this would be a good moment for Jeter and Sherman down the line. Not only, because you've developed the arms, but now if you start developing some of the bats, that'll really bring the balance that you need, especially to this front office that has done a great job of retooling, actually, the minors for the Marlins. But we've been waiting for the bats to come around, and now we're seeing a couple of these guys like Aguilar and obviously Chisholm really develop.
And we'd be remiss not to give some credit here to Kim Ng, too, because, bringing in Dylan Floro, that bullpen's, they've had some nice additions, really. I mean, Dylan Floro, John Curtis, those are some good, solid guys in that bullpen. And then to your point about Jazz Chisholm, that guy's fun. I mean, the swag that guy brings, he's got one of the smoothest swings in baseball, too. It really reminds me of a Robinson Cano-ish from the left-hand side. Because when he puts the bat on the ball, you might not think it's going very far just because it's so smooth and it stays in the zone so long. Yet when it goes off the bat, it's going out there at 100-plus exit velocity almost every single time. I mean, he's hitting 325 with 3 homers, 6 ribbies already. So, I mean, again, it's just I sound like a broken record, but he's another example of why this team is going to be exciting for so many years.
I'm with you there. And we're talking with Danny Vietti, by the way, with CBS Sports. You can also check out the Wake and Rake podcast. Subscribe to that there. All right, so Danny, when you look at Jazz, does he do we get ahead of ourselves here? Does he have a chance to start competing for a Rookie of the Year now?
Oh, he certainly does. And when you take a deeper dive on his analytics, too, you might be wondering, what's his batting average on ball in play? Is this actually going to sustain itself? His average exit velocity is in the 83rd percentile. His max exit velocity, 87th percentile. Hard hit percentage, 89th percentile. Expected on base, 96th percentile. Okay, so those are numbers that are promising. If you're wondering, okay, how long is this going to last? Is it just a hot streak? This kid's hitting the ball hard. So if you actually look at what might be expected over a longer term, maybe we haven't seen the best of Jazz Chisholm yet. And I truly believe that he's just going to get better and better at age 23. He's just going to get better and better. He's fast as hell. He's athletic in the field. He's athletic at the plate. And I think he's just going to get better and better. His barrel percentage, the 100 percentile. He's the best barrel percentage in the major leagues at 23 years old. His first real big league experience here. He's lighting the world on fire. It's just a matter of time before the rest of the world gets to see what this kid's doing.
Tell me a little bit about the Wake and Rake podcast so folks can check it out there, Danny.
No, I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, so we're doing weekly to biweekly, maybe 3 times a week with Wake and Rake podcast, and to me and Will Middlebrook, the World Series champion with the Red Sox. Me and him just talk a little ball a few times a week and break it all down. So if you haven't checked it out, please do.
By the way, have you heard anything about Sixto? Anything on when the electrifying one could come back?
They've been rather quiet. It's a really good question. I wish I had more of an answer with you.
Don't worry about it. Listen, don't feel bad, dude. None of us know. You know how it is. So, especially in this COVID world, they've been able to keep us more at a distance in this world. So it's a lot harder nowadays. But what do you know at least?
The last I know is that he's been thrown at 45 feet, and that was a couple days ago. So that's promising. Results after that were good. It wasn't as if he had discomfort after that. So again, I wish I had better and more news for everyone, but as all I know is he's been throwing from 45 feet. He's dealing with that shoulder injury. Hopefully he continues to progress, and hopefully we can see him down the line this season.
Hell, Castano did a nice job the other night for them. So it's, they got some depth, man. I'll tell you that. They got several dudes out there. Follow them on Twitter, by the way, at Danny Vietti. And if you love your baseball, why don't you subscribe to the Wake and Rake podcast? Sounds like a good one there. Danny, thank you for taking some time, my brother. I really appreciate it. Look forward to doing it again down the line.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. There you go. Danny Vietti, man. Good stuff there. Talk a little baseball. I figured we get a little different perspective, too, because I can bring on one of the local writers. But obviously, Danny, I'm sure he's locally here because he's right here in CBS Interactive, which is right here in our backyard. So it's cool to get a different perspective on it. And I saw him on social media. I'm going to actually I subscribed already to the podcast. I haven't heard it yet. But I did like a lot of his content, so I figure this will be cool. And I didn't know that he was doing it with Middlebrooks, so that's actually pretty cool. And I definitely will be checking it out. Folks, don't forget that OnsideRadio.com gives you a ton of options to listen to the station. You can download free apps from like Radio.net, Radio FM, Simple Radio, Zeno Radio, MyTuner Radio, Podbean. You can listen live. Listen, go to OnsideRadio.com on the right side. You'll see a slew of apps there. You can download any of those apps so you can listen to our shows, Dono's shows, any of the radio shows that are on, and all of the Inter-Miami CF broadcast. Download any of these free apps and listen to your favorite Onside Radio host. Visit our OnsideRadio.com website to find all of the apps.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Square Circle Digest.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
Now, wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
All right, welcome back. It is the final segment of the show, and we thank Omar Kelly and, of course, Michelle Kaufman and Danny Vietti that just joined us. If you missed any of those segments, the EJD Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly, man, you can podcast it. Michelle Kaufman and I obviously talked a lot of Inter, and Danny, we just talked a little Marlins, and obviously all kinds of other things that I talked about. You can check it out there at the podcast. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review all of our shows. It doesn't matter who here on Onside Radio. And, of course, coming up next is my man Alex Dono.
What's going on, Big O?
Dono, how you feeling, bro? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great. This was a really busy, really good sports weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers with a statement win. You know, obviously
that was awesome.
Fantastic. Obviously, we had an awesome time with Inter Miami's first game of the year. Unfortunately, we didn't get the result we wanted, but I saw some good things on the pitch. I saw some great things in the stands. The fans were fantastic out here.
Yeah, I'm not going to get all crazy and negative about the game. There were too many good things. They just made a couple of brutal mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. If you stay away from those mistakes, they probably would have walked away, with a victory. Now, before we do the switch over here, I want to ask you about something. The Super League stuff, man. and I saw Kai, and I had a conversation with him, but Kai's young. So I got to hold that against him a little bit because he's like, well, they should be promotion and relegation. I looked at him and I go, Kai, bro,
we're
Americans, bro.
Yeah.
We're capitalists, bro. We don't do that kind of crap here. Minor leagues don't mean jack in this country. That's we treat the minor leagues like what it is. The minor leagues up in Europe and those other places, the first division has some respectability and all that. That's not going to happen here in this country. We're capitalists. Once they buy on an NBA, an NFL, a Major League or Major League Soccer, whatever it is, they're staying there. They're not going anywhere. You're not going to ask billionaires to spend billions of dollars to then possibly be sent to a minors and a minor league system in our country that is, my God, it's just above the beer league.
Yeah, the soccer world, or football Twitter as we call it, and I'm sure Tito can attest to this as well because he follows a lot of soccer accounts. It's meltdown mode. Like the last 36 hours have been just pure meltdown mode about the Super League.
Let me run this by you.
Yeah.
We are capitalistic. We have Americans that are now owning some of these teams.
Right. John Henry, the Glazers.
Are we now influencing them in the capitalistic ways because that's what this Super League is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think that a lot of the owners, even the ones who aren't Americans, because a couple of the big driving forces behind it are the president of Real Madrid, Florentino Perez, who's not American, the president of Juventus, Mr. Agnelli, who's not American. They're really pushing for this as well. I think they want to model their system like the NFL. Very powerful, rich franchise system, something without promotion, relegation, and something where instead of relying on, because this to me is why I will only go so far in criticizing the Super League, where I don't love the fact that it's tearing people apart. There's a lot about this I don't like. I do find it a little bit inevitable, but I will never, like a lot of people are, suddenly defend corrupt governing bodies like FIFA and UEFA. I mean, FIFA they are responsible, whether directly or indirectly, for the deaths of some 6,500 people in Qatar who have been building the infrastructure for that World Cup. They should have never been awarded, and those people are dying over there because of FIFA corruption. There have been plenty of stories about UEFA as well. So I will never defend these governing bodies. And with this Super League, what's happened, and they've been talking about this for a few years. So this didn't just magically appear over the weekend. But I believe plans for this Super League were accelerated because of the pandemic and all the revenues lost, right? Because this is the fastest, easiest way to make that up, because there's a ton of new capital that comes in for this Super League, because a lot of these
TV
top
deals they'll control.
So the clubs forming this are upper echelon top clubs with big fan bases, big money coming in, and not every top club is joining. I know Kai's Bayern have stood against it. PSG so far has stood against it, but I kind of think PSG is going to end up joining.
I think Bayern will too eventually.
I'm not sure about Bayern because
once they see everybody else go in, and then they're going to be left out, they're going to go in.
But it's a little bit different in Germany, because all the Bundesliga clubs are partly owned by fans. Like, they have this system which is actually kind of cool, but like a portion of the clubs are publicly owned by supporters, so they may not. So if the supporters are dead set against it, they may not be able to swing it. So I don't know about Bayern, but I do think PSG will jump aboard. So these top clubs, essentially, first of all, I don't think they like being governed by UEFA and FIFA. They hate it, and they're losing a lot of revenue doing that. And they're also, I think, getting tired of having to sacrifice so much of their own revenue to support the smaller clubs who don't bring so much to the table, the sides that are relegated and promoted every year that they're not really carving out their own piece to the pie. Right. They're essentially sucking off the teat of the bigger clubs, and I think the bigger clubs want to stop supporting them like that.
I don't blame them, dude. I don't blame them whatsoever. I get it, and if you're the people that own that club and then you're carrying others, it makes all the sense in the world.
Because these big clubs, Barcelona are a big. They have a lot of financial issues, and it was accelerated by the pandemic. The club that I support, Inter Milan, has a lot of financial issues because of the pandemic. Juventus as well, Real Madrid. Unfortunately, clubs can usually print money, but
it's up to 22 now, right, or something?
Yeah, without fans in the stands, they've been unable to do that.
It's up to 22 teams now?
Actually, it's right now. It's 12, and they say 3 more will join, and they want to have 20. So 20 is their goal. They want to have 20.
Okay. Wow. It's crazy stuff. And I'm sure he'll talk more about it during the Man of the Match, one of the most complete talk shows that you will hear in this country. And all you got to do is tune in for the next 3 hours with my man Alex Dano. Tito Benach, thank you, sir, as always. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in, texting, downloading, however it is you support us and our amazing sponsors. We will catch you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag and temporarily stay down. Higuain is in at the square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil. Robinson now is starting to get the beating of Oniel Fisher. Robinson into Pizarro, and a challenge coming in right on the edge of the area, and he's given a penalty. Referee Chris Pensa pointing to the spot.
Rightfully so.
Caught Pizarro just on the edge of the box, and in the end, the referee determining it was inside. It will be a penalty to Inter Miami on 67 minutes. Is staring at it straight up. Higuain v. Bond. Chris Pensa is clear of the penalty area. And now Gonzalo Higuain to open his 2021 account. This is a massive moment for Inter Miami's designated player. Big signing from Juventus in the summer of last year. Higuain now approaches it. Gonzalo Higuain from the spot. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Places it in the right corner. And Gonzalo Higuain has restored Inter Miami's advantage from the spot. It's Inter Miami 2, LA Galaxy 1.
Yes! Sorry to cut you off there, Fernando Fiore. That was an epic yell by Fernando. Oh, he's so passionate, Fernando Fiore. I love that dude so much. I love the entire broadcast team. Chris is such a professional. Thomas Rongen he's great at his job. He's also a really, really fun, nice guy. And Fernando, he lives and dies with Inter Miami. I mean, he is the happiest guy in the world when they score, and he is depressed when they concede and when they ultimately fall like they did yesterday. Hello and welcome in to Man of the Match here on OnsideRadio.com. With you guys live. You can listen on our website, OnsideRadio.com. You can listen live and free on a number of different mobile apps. You can take the apps with you wherever you go. If you're in the car, put it through your speakers via Bluetooth. It comes in crystal clear. Sounds a lot clearer than AM radio, I might add. The difference is night and day when it comes to the sound quality. So if you want to see the list of free mobile apps where you can get us, I was listening on the Radio FM app on the way up today. No interruptions whatsoever. It was great. You can go to OnsideRadio.com, and on the right side of the webpage, it'll show you the mobile apps you can download for free and listen to us. And I highly advise, if you are stationary,